Hello, gamers, and welcome to Swimmer Sync number 210, hosted by Inkling Performance Labs. I'm Cater, joined today by my lovely co-commentator, Drumar. How you feeling?
It's a great Wednesday evening. I'm excited to watch some amazing Splatoon. We got a great round one set coming to you guys between Bad Guys versus so-called Free Inkers.
That's an incredible team name. I was saying that before we went live, but I love the name and I love the logo, which looks like a locker screenshot if I had to guess.
I think so. I think it is, yeah. But yeah, I love when teams just make like dumb inside joke Splatoon related puns for their pickup names. It's always really fun. But really excited to get into this. SOS is always so much fun to commentate. So
yes, indeed.
Excited to get to some amazing matches tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Bad Guys are actually an established competitive team. Their Sendo bio says they competitively play the game, which is crazy to think that a team would do that. And they recently in November placed first in All for One number 52, from what I can see, so good for them. That was the Clan Blitz edition, so these guys are probably going to feel pretty comfortable on Clan Blitz. Unfortunately for them here, we're not going to be seeing that in this set. If we take a look at our map list here, it is zones, towers, zones. If we do indeed see that best of three, we're going to be starting here. Splat zones on Robo Ramen Competitive Classic.
Love this map. I hope most people can agree that this is probably like a top 3 zones map. Because I think it is. That's at least my opinion. Some people might not agree with me on that. But all right.
I don't know if I would say top 3 just because I personally like playing on other zones maps more, but like design wise and like actual competitive viability, I would say top 3.
Yeah. Personal
preference is different, but also my personal preference is extremely biased.
Yeah, fair enough. Some people have.
And even then, as a headed player, like I like this map a decent amount. I like to stand up on the glass and keep watch over zone. My main gripe that I have with this is how much choke matters and how easy it is to get locked out once you get past choke, and you kind of just have to funnel it. You either have to send your Slayer on a really long flank or just kind of funnel it to that drop area right in front of spawn, which can be a little bit annoying, especially since the other team has the upper hand or the higher ground in that situation. It can make it really hard to break out. But enough about that. We'll see how these teams actually fare in our first game of the tournament.
Yeah. Looking like a pencil comp out of the side of Bad Guys. And we have a leader on the side of so-called Free Inkers.
Well, big fan of the paintbrush coming out here as well. That's the Walzuka paintbrush, not something you see particularly often. Love to see unorthodox weapon choices like that. And then, like you said, leader coming out from the side of so-called Free Inkers, losing their carbon very early on. But despite that, they still had a relatively strong hold on the zone for a little bit there. They do pop the bubble from the Junior right on the ramp, and that is quickly going to get missiled. Cat targeting all of the 4 of the members there, forcing them to drop down.
Yeah, and we do see the Junior right there. Going to have to retreat a little bit. I'm realizing so-called Free Inkers is running a clueless comp, and right as I say that, 2 of them go down. There goes a third. It's only their leader alive, and Bad Guys is just going to push all the way into the enemy spawn and try to camp them out as long as they can just to dwindle down those points.
This is what I was talking about, where once you get into check, it's really difficult to fight this literal uphill battle out. You can see how much of this drop area is controlled by Bad Guys right now. Ice did pop the Zuka up there, Torch on the Wiper, doing a little bit of ledge camping with the wall, trying to get a pick here, but does get taken out. The missiles coming out again from Mighty Cat on the zone, gets a pick on Ice as well. The bubble coming out, and we do finally see the zone flip back to so-called Free Inkers with a 66-point penalty applied to Bad Guys. Sim is also, on the Stamper, trying to get a pick on the side here. Ice also doing so on Torch. Nice slick carbon pick there.
Yeah, great pincher by both those teammates right there. But we do see Ice trying to get a little bit of a start going on that leader, not going to be able to, going to have to back out. We just do see a scuffle right in mid, but the zone is going to go back into so-called Free Inkers' favor. Running down through the 60s and all the way to the 50s. They do have the Zip Cleanser and Wave Breaker ready, and they're going to decide to use that wave right now.
Yeah, out comes the cooler from Bad Guys as Tomato tries to get a pick. Ice gets the trade down there. That's 1 down on both sides. With Horsio popping that bubble, we see the bubble go into zone, and actually we're close to our Well, I was gonna say we're getting close to our points getting even here, but Bad Guy's gonna come in, take back that zone, start chipping away at that penalty. Osize lurking down in the drop area there, trying to get a little bit of something going on, popping the Zuka and kind of hopping around with it. Aim manages to get a pick there on the paintbrush. Hey, I guess any angle can work if it's a Zuka angle. Jordan, meanwhile, has gotten set up on the zone with the combination of that and the bubble. The hammer coming out onto the zone to try and deny that, going onto glass, not finding anything. Torch, though, able to come and take back the zone for the rest of Bad Guys.
It was a really good scuffle between both these teams. You see Jordan trying to getting backed up a bit, but does have that wave breaker to get some pressure, and does get a great pick right there on Tomato. And is going to have to back up because of those missiles. Bad Guy still in control of the zone, dwindling down those penalty points, but I say that as mid keeps getting flipped back and forth into neutral space. But Bad Guys have been able to hold on so far. We do see Sim having that zip caster ready, locked, and loaded. We're going to have to see what so-called free inkers can do here as they finally neutral the zone again.
Losing the leader, though, and Bad Guys is going to come back and take advantage of that, take that. Tomato managing to eke out the pick there before Hoshio popping yet another bubble. Here's that zipcaster you were talking about. Sim looking for some sort of opportunity and not going to find what they wanted. The penalty is gone. Out comes the hammer from Torch to seal the deal. Are we going to see it? We do. The zone not quite neutralized in time as Bad Guys swoops in to knock out that first game.
Yeah, there were some great moments between both these teams. Really interesting comps as well. I loved seeing some leader gameplay. I haven't really seen that in a long time because of all the pencils and coolers and all that. But really good first game by Bad Guys. Let's see if so-called free inkers can get a bit of a comeback going in game 2.
Yeah, I sure do hope so. Of course, these sets get a little fast, especially it's just a best of 3. You don't really have a lot of room for error there, but it is, just our group's place, and since all teams go on to their respective brackets, a lot of teams can maybe, it takes a little bit to get warmed up in groups, and then some teams will have really, really good showings in brackets later on in the night.
Yeah, definitely. But talking about game 2, we have tower control on Museum. Really interesting map mode. You don't see this one that often.
Yeah, Museum makes me think Rainmaker, maybe Clams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God forbid, maybe Zones, right? But almost never do I see Museum Tower, funnily enough. It's one of those map modes that I think is not so bad, it's just uncommon. I don't I hold no specific grudge against this map or this mode, this combination in particular. It's just something that seems to be set aside in favor of other combinations. Maybe I guess Barnacle. I feel like even I've seen Umami Clams more often than this, which is kind of surprising to me now that I think about it.
Yeah, this is a map mode where it's if I just hopped on Splatoon and I saw it paired with an actually pretty good tower map, maybe Hagglefish or something, I'd be like, okay, I'll play the rotation. That's a cool rotation. But you don't really see it competitively. You see a whole bunch of other tower maps, again, Hagglefish, maybe Inkblot. Trying to go through the entire map list in this game. Even Undertale, you'll see Undertale a lot more than Museum. Yeah. But really, I actually sometimes do like seeing uncommon map modes in turn. Not uncommon ones that are still there's still some that are never touched this ever. Never put Flounder in a map list, in my opinion. Just don't do it. But map modes that aren't specifically bad.
Oh, it's a Haggle Tower. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
This does make
There we
so
go,
much
go. I was like, a little strange. Yeah, well, speaking of Haggle Tower, that's a lot more common. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
we're back in our wheelhouse here with a Hagglefish Tower. If we continue to see the E-Leader, really, really excited for what that has to bring. I was going to mention that anyway. Leader's very strong on tower control, and it is through all of the levels of play. I mean, Moonlight playing it in the NA League comes to mind immediately, of course. Yeah. Basil is absolutely iconic with that, but that's not where we are. We're in Swimmer Sync right now, and we'll see if the leader comes back. No swaps there. And, we see a swap to the mini Splatling with the hammer, and then that is the Winter Rapid for the cooler of choice for so-called free inkers. So no more cooler-less, they are bringing it out, but on a weapon that is not really so much of a cooler spammer.
Yeah, but I'd say Blaster is actually very strong for tower control, you just get so much AoE damage just
Oh yeah.
so quickly around that tower, and it would be really useful alongside that cooler to help your teammates keep pushing forward. And it looks like the first points are gonna go to so-called Freezer. It's only gonna get a point and finally start to take this tower. We see Tomato pop a Zuka, not gonna be able to get anything there.
Yeah, the Paintbrush as opposed to the Carbon Deco is very interesting to me because they're both kind of, you know, those short-ish range aggressive weapons with Zuka, but they're being played relatively differently here, I feel, although we are seeing Torch and the other members of Bad Guy go forward, Tomato popping another one of those Zukas. Checkpoint 1 looks like it will fall very quickly to Bad Guys here, as most tower-controlled maps do, but the hair are missing the tower by a little bit. That second checkpoint is where things are gonna really get gnarly. Torch's hammer throw getting denied, but making up for it with a beautiful double there on the ramp, allowing for the Bad Guys to continue their push with that wipeout situation. They are going to get right up to that second checkpoint and hopefully break through here.
You see Gocho with that pencil just putting so much pressure on there. We got 3 down again on so-called free inkers. Another almost a delayed wipeout. We see Torch up there. Another wipeout in favor of Bad Guys. And we're just going to see Count with that throw just try to put some more pressure. Gocha is going to go down. That's 2 down. But that's 3 down again for so-called free inkers. We see Torch, another wipeout, and it's just going to be game.
I think that is the most amount of like wipeouts to time ratio I've ever seen in a match.
Maybe.
It felt like there was just one after another.
Yeah, was that like 3 wipeouts in like 45 seconds? It felt like.
Yeah, something like that. There was a lot of aggression going on, a lot of picks going off.
Yeah, very dominant showing by Bad Guys right there. Just a whole bunch of wipeouts, just putting so much pressure on the other team, just being so locked in with each other, and probably their callouts, I'd have to assume. Just getting a very strong Game 2 win and eventually to take this set.
Yeah, we did just watch the replay of the ending right there, and like you said, pretty much just entirely locked in. That is exactly what you want out of a tower control push. Even if you lose the person right on the tower, you stay calm, swap out another teammate on, and you just keep the push going as long as you can.
Alright, very good showing from both these teams. Really strong round 1 here. I think we do have a little bit more time, so we're probably going to cut to a quick break. And we'll be back with some more SOS action in round 2.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Swim or Sink number 210, hosted by our wonderful IPL. If you're just joining us, I'm Cater, joined here today by my co-commentator Drumar. We are about to watch round 2 of Nessie's Pools.
Yeah, and we have two amazing teams right here. We have, trying to pronounce this name because they would not give us a pronunciation. I'm going to say Yaotl. Not even going to try to even pronounce the second half of it because I don't want to butcher it. As well as Jelly Squids. Way more easy to pronounce.
Hey, Jelly Squids, I know those guys.
We like Jelly Squids.
I do also recognize some members on Yaotl, those being Pinkie Pie Puffle and One Shot. One Shot specifically. I love watching Charger gameplay, and so any Charger I see, I go, whoa, and then I immediately commit them to memory. So hopefully see more of that wonderful backline gameplay out here from One Shot in this set.
Yeah, definitely. In game one, we're going back into a, this round we're going into zones, Rainmaker zones, but in game one, we're going to be starting with zones on Barnacle and Dime.
Ooh, I like it here. And I'm sure One Shot will like it here too, because big, flat, open area means great sight lines for those Chargers.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really exciting. I don't really recognize any other members on either of these teams. You honestly recognize way more people than I do in this community, but really excited to see what these teams decide to bring to the table for this round 2 set.
Taking a close look at a quick look at the sendo here, it does look like Pinkie Pie Puffle is an Ink Brush one trick who has also got a roller in their back pocket. So if we see some Ink Brush rat gameplay running around, that'll be interesting too. Mark is the back line for Jelly Squids and an extremely based Splatling player. We shake hands. I am also a Splatling class 1 trick, so cannot wait to see wonderful Splatling gameplay. You should pull out the heavy Splatling. That would make my day. I'm not biased at all here. Heavy Splatling is definitely not my favorite weapon. I do also know them from staffing together at Mulloway Institute of Turfing.
MIT.
Yes, MIT. I had a lot of fun staffing at MIT. I used to run Megalodon Cup for them, and that was super fun.
Oh, cool. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't been TOing as much because I've been commentating a lot more recently, especially what with all the events in Riptide and NA League and all of that. But I did have a time where I TO'd a couple things, including Squid Junction and some stuff for MIT, and that's where I know him from.
Yay. Sounds
Yippee!
Cool. Yippee. I never really wanted to get into TOing. I usually leave that to other people to do that. Not me.
Well, if
I'll
you
just
ever want to
turn
TO out there in the chat, sometimes I feel look for staff, and we always post about, and you can go to iplLabs.inc and look at all of the different tournaments that we run, and if you're ever interested in staffing, when we put out those staff calls, go ahead and fill out the form. There's a lot of different events in this scene that are always looking for staff, and so even if IPL isn't looking at the moment, I'm sure you can find somebody that's willing to accept the help that you can offer.
We love volunteering.
We do love volunteering. That's what our community is built on, you know?
Exactly.
A lot of the work that I think pretty much all of the work that I've done here, commentary or TOing or playing or otherwise, is all volunteer work. But that's not a bad thing. I like doing it. I like what I do, right? Streaming, all of that, volunteer work, but it's great fun and contributing to the community. But that's just me being on my pedestal, being like, if you like being here, you should come and help out the community.
We like the community. The community is fun. The community has great people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on this stream if I didn't like the Splatoon community, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to look at the other members of these teams. Oh yeah, we do have the map list up right now. You can see the other 2 maps. We will for sure be seeing Rainmaker Undertow Spillway, and then if it comes to a game 3, Umami Zones, which is my personal favorite zones map.
Mine too.
I know that I talked about, oh, I don't like the checkpoint or the choke points, and then I'm like, oh, I like Umami, and it is like, it has the choke point of all time. But there's really something about it that it's a lot of fun running around and switching my focus between the 2 zones. There's One Shot on the, Heavy Splatling!
Heavy Splatling!
Oh my gosh, Mark, you're so based! I love Heavy Splatling. When you watch this VOD back, I want you to know you're the most based person here because I absolutely love Jelly Squids and their heavy Splatling. But yes, one shot on that custom leader scope as well. So interesting there. The cooler weapon of choice being that Tri Nouveau, not something you see very often either.
Yeah, I'm noticing Yaotl is deciding to go with a double Kraken comp, going with the 96 Deco and the custom leader. Really interesting decision, especially on zones. You don't think Kraken would really be that strong, but we do see NATO right here getting a great pick on one shot right there with that Zipcaster Octobrush. Gonna have to recall, but Jelly Squids is gonna take control of the zone for the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, we've got Callie here. I believe that is Pink Puppy Pastry on the Ink Brush. Like I said earlier, they're going to likely camp that jump there. Overall, we've got 2 down on the side, well, of both teams, with the Tri-Slosher just now respawning. Ace here on that with a Kraken at the ready, looking for some sort of opportunity. I think it was just going to push up onto the stack here, use the wall to their advantage. Such an important tool on this 96 Gal. There is the Kraken. They're going to go for NATO here. Are they going to be able to get the pick? Even if that really is displacing NATO onto that alleyway, likely calling that out for another player to take care of.
Yeah, we see Kelly with that Ink Brush going for the backside of the Frozen Pro is going to get that pick as well. Yaotl is just pushing down those points, going through all the way to the 50s. We do see one shot here with that scary leader immediately getting a pick right there. Very great pick by one shot. Seeing if they can get another. Not going to even get a pick up there yet, but Yaotl is taking very good control of the zone. They're already down to 20 points. If they can hold on for just a little bit longer, they can take game 1 very quickly.
Yeah, Diamond out with the Kraken to the Kraken. We have the Zipcaster coming out here. The zone does not flip, though it does get neutralized with 3 going down there at the end for Jelly Squids. It is Yaotl that is going to take our first game. I would say they seem very, very dominant that game, having control of the zone for the majority of it.
Yeah, very strong showing by them, especially just a great combination of one shot on that leader and Kelly with that Ink Brush. You get the far away distance pressure as well as like the close range sharking pressure of our Ink Brush. Very scary duo right there, and it was very well executed.
Yeah, this is the replay is the end of our match here, and I want to comment, I think, yeah, there's the Zuka from Diamond that displaced one shot, and one shot kind of just directly went into the Kraken, but having one shot on that stack area, it just provides so much area denial for them. Like, you could see just how far into the spawn of Jelly Squids that one shot could reach. Diamond was all the way on the highest range and still had to worry about getting hit by that E-leader. And they, I mean, even if they hadn't gotten those picks that they did, it's still a very threatening position to put your E-leader in.
Yeah, definitely. But game 2, we're going into Undertow Spillway. Gonna play some Rainmaker here. Don't know how. Do you think we're gonna see one shot on leader? We'll probably see one shot on leader again, aren't we?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I do wonder if Jelly Squids is going to keep the coolerless comp that we saw. If I recall correctly, it was coolerless, unless you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was.
I think it was. It was Heavy Flatling Frozen Pro, Octobrush, and
I think there was a shot as the last weapon.
Probably a shot, if I had to guess, yeah. So yeah, coolerless. I honestly don't think so. I feel like cooler is a really necessary special, especially in Rainmaker. Like,
yeah, it's
just like half
a wipe situation is maybe the most punishing here in Rainmaker, because if you're not even in like other modes where the timer goes down their own or the enemies have to go back for clams, but it looks like we are wrong, as they are going to stick with that coolerless comp, actually bringing out a Kraken of their own. Mark bringing out the heavy deco, and you know what, I didn't think that Mark could get more base than bringing out the V heavy, but I think, look, I can't say I'm V heavy's biggest fan because there's literally somebody in the scene called V heavy, but I can confidently say that I am heavy deco's biggest fan. And so, Mark, I give my wholly unbiased commentary to you. Anyway, we see Ace get a great pick here on NATO with 2 down on the side of Jelly Squids. It is Yaotl that is going to pick up the Rainmaker first, heading for that left checkpoint. 3 of them all grouped together, and the cooler beautifully placed for them all to pick that up. An unfortunate death to the bomb there. One shot getting the mid-air pick on NATO. A real stylish shot there. It does go down, but the Tri-Slosher is going to quickly pick that up and continue where they left off. Ace is going to go around here, maybe popping that Kraken? Yes, they are with 2 down. They're going to try and get a pick here on NATO, but a little bit too far back, and Mark gonna pick up that Rainmaker and bring it out of that threatening position. We're chilling, or if we're not, just chilling. It's a little stuck in that corner right now, actually.
Yeah, we do see a wipeout in favor of Yaotl right there. We see Kelly just putting up a very aggressive position all the way up in that enemy zone right by the checkpoint. We see One Shot just putting so much long-range pressure with that leader. Absolutely terrifying, but they do pop the Kraken, trying to go for a pop. Are just going to get the Frozen Pro right there, trying to see if they can actually like pop the Rainmaker. Not going to be able to yet, but with the help of some of their teammates like Callie and Ace, is Callie going to be able to get the dunk? Not yet, getting all the way to 3 points.
Still presence from the members of Yaotl here around this Rainmaker. They are not giving up the fight, but with Diamond finally being able to pick that up and drop it down out of spawn, looks like the push has lost all of its momentum. Ace, though, still has something to say and is going to come around at the back here, attack Mark, and has the Kraken at the ready if they so desire to pop it at this off angle. Looks like the Rainmaker was still, again, taken out on the side of the map that is Jelly Squids, so they are still on the back foot here with the try picking it up again, and they're just pushing it up the right ramp this time. They just want aggression and points no matter how they can get it. I mean, with 3 remaining, it's difficult to get more points on that board. One Shot and Mark having a little bit of a face-off there, and oh, yeah, that's the Splatling Charger matchup for you, unfortunately.
What's up? We do see a great pick by the Tiny Bow right there, just getting the pick on the Rainmaker. That's 2 down, 3 down on the side of Jelly Squids, technically. We see the Tricells trying to just paint for a cooler right here. They can switch over to One Shot again with that leader, so much long-range pressure. But the Rainmaker is going to go down just to like stagnate it out a bit. Let's see what Yaotl and Jelly Squids are going to do in these situations.
Muddy is trying really hard to avoid the laser from One Shot there, but you cannot stay hidden for too long, and One Shot has that crack and knows that they're going to be able to do something with it. We're actually chilling out in the Rainmaker free zone here, it looks like, but forced out by the combination of the missiles and the Zuka and everything, and the bombs, and One Shot opting to pop the Kraken up in this higher area. Callie looking for a pick, does get the jump, the height advantage on Muddy, and NATO going to try and get that, but the Zipcaster recall forcing them out of that situation. Meanwhile, Diamond and company have made their way up to that Rainmaker. NATO getting a nice pick with that Octobrush, and Mark opting to pick that up instead of having the Kraken just get taken out there. Likely, I think it's from One Shot. I couldn't say exactly, but from that distance, it pretty much has to be.
Yeah, we see Jelly Squids just trying to make a push out of their own. Diamond with that Zuka not going to get anyone. They might have to just let it reset, and as I say that, someone on the side of Jelly Squids grabs Rainmaker. See if they can get some sort of a push going here. We do see Callie putting so much pressure, but is going to get taken out with the help of those missiles as well.
Yeah, great picks from Mark there on the Rainmaker, slowly making their way forward. You can see Diamond up there trying to also helping support NATO on this Zipcaster, looking for a pick on One Shot. Does not find as One Shot, I believe, popped that. Oh no, that's Ace on the Kraken there. A double going down right on the Rainmaker as Ace is just continuing to find that way around. Meanwhile, One Shot, we might have actually, I'm not, did we see both Kraken spawn at the same time? I feel like my eyes are playing tricks on me. The cooler is going to come out, and just as quickly as it was brought over to the side of Yaotl, they pick it right back up and go on the offense again. 30 seconds remaining, and that's 2 down on the side of Jelly Squid. It's going to make it so much more difficult for them to respawn and build up a push, a countermeasure to stop another push from Yaotl.
Yeah, technically Yaotl doesn't even have to push up this far. They're just deciding to do it for the love of the game. Muddy with the Frozen Pro trying to get a pick right there on Callie. Not going to be able to. Seeing if they can put pressure on that Rainmaker. Not going to be able to. Mark with that Kraken. Are they going to be able to get the pick? No, but it gets stopped. But they do eventually get the pick, so they force an overtime situation.
We will see overtime here. One Shot doing something not very characteristic of a leader there. Taken out Diamond before going the special for the Rainmaker. And of course, that Rainmaker is a powerful weapon, but it's difficult in overtime. We do still, losing NATO on that Octobrush makes it so much more difficult. The whales come out that they now have to avoid, and One Shot has their eye on that leader. The laser inescapable. It does go down to Callie there on the Ink Brush, and despite a valiant effort, overtime ends in favor of Yaotl.
Yeah, very interesting decision to go for more points by Yaotl. They already went all the way to 3 remaining at the start of the game. Going for more in that situation instead of playing defense?
arguably they were playing defense. I mean, they didn't go up as far as they could have. I do agree that they maybe went a bit farther than I'm used to seeing, especially with, you know, the usual strategy in the last 30 or so seconds of Rainmaker to just be pick up the Rainmaker and hold it. But maybe they just got a little, you know, a little greedy and wanted that knockout. Either way, it did give Jelly Squids an opportunity to have this overtime push that we see here, but they really just got kind of stuck, and in the end, Callie was able to get the jump on them and come up from behind.
Yeah, very great showing by Yaotl. Very great job by Jelly Squid to put up a fight there, but we are sadly not going to be going to see Umami ruin Slapstones.
No!
Unfortunate. I'm really sad about it.
I'm sad about that, but hey, Jelly Squids, you guys are wonderful in my heart. I love you guys, and that's definitely not because of the heavy deco. It is, but also I can't a guy like a team, man. I've seen Jelly Squids around all the time, and I think they're great. And just because they have a super base Splatling player, that just helps their case, you know. I'm not gonna give Mark all the love. Of course, all the other members of Jelly Squids had great showings too. I just, you know, I see a Splatling, I go neuron activation, but.
Fair enough. And it looks like our round 3 match is ready.
Yes,
we
it
can go
is.
straight into it. All right.
Well, we are going to look at Caniac Central versus What's the Point. Both of these teams full of players that I am very familiar with. On the side of, oh, that's not Caniac.
I was loving like,
yeah, it's Caniac. I don't know. My brain autofilled an R in there. Well, Caniac Central having Neptune, Kraken, Nerdy Adam, and Rioting 3 out of 4 whom I know, and then What's the Point being a combination of What's Quackin' and Waypoint, with B and Echo from What's Quackin' and Wings and Nonaloon from Waypoint. All 3 again of which I know. Knowing Wings, we're going to get to see some wonderful Tri-Stringer gameplay, and that is something I always look forward to.
Yeah, I do recognize Neptune and Krakenmare on the side of Caniac Central Krakenmare. Of course, TZS. Can't miss them.
Cannot miss them. Absolutely not. Yeah, they're around there. Arguably, I think one of, if not the fan favorite teams in the scene. Honestly,
I would not be shocked. Honestly,
those guys are iconic and awesome, and so. Makes me very happy, honestly. And you know what? I agree with that. I'm gonna say it. I liked Triggerfish Zones. I liked Camp Triggerfish a lot. It was very funny to watch people fall off. Was it competitively viable? Maybe not. But it will live on in my heart forever.
I wasn't in the scene then, so I never really.
You missed out. You missed out on some
I
great
did miss
times
out.
back in Splatoon.
Sorry. During the
you
season,
missed out on
Splatoon 3.
Inkarger and Stingray and all of those wonderful times.
I've noticed, like, when I joined the scenes, like, my opinion on map modes were so different from competitive players. It was actually ridiculous.
I mean, honestly, I played casual Splatoon 2 so much that, like, I'm pretty similar in regards to that Splatoon 2. Like, I dearly miss Starfish Main Stage. I miss Schellendorf Institute, which I found to be a very unpopular opinion, but that's just because I'm a Splatling player. Enough of that, though. We're going to go on to Splat Zones on Shipshape Cargo Company. Not common of Splat Zones maps out there. You know, I tend to think Tower more when I see this map, but I think it's definitely fair to have in the map pool. No real surprises coming out here, of course. You know, we've got Echo on that Stamper and B on the Splash. Loon's there on the Claws 96, which is the cooler weapon of choice. Then on the side of Caniac Central, we've got Kraken on that Brush. Again, Nerdy Adam coming out here with the 52 gal. Unfortunately going down to Wings there, who is immediately going to target Rioting right after that. Neptune attempting to get set up here with his Crab Tank, going to force Wings a little bit out, and the combination of that and the Whales, Wings has to almost entirely give up that position here. Just taken out by the chip damage anyway, and that is huge. Nerdy Adam goes in and gets the second one. That is a wipeout on the side of What's the Point. So Caniac Central are going to be able to surge forward. You can see how quickly Neptune and Krakenmare take control of all of the paint in that court area, and Nerdy Adam is looking on that upper corner, watching the pit and that snipe area that Wings really wants to get set up on.
Yeah, I know you talked about having neuron activation for heavy splatling. My neuron activation is Splash-O-Matic, and we got 2 of them in this game, baby. Let's go!
Hey, look, I had my time for weapons, you have yours, so you can see your Splash-O-Matic action. Neptune up there on another crab. Loon is going to go and counteract that, though, very quickly with that Claws 96. Has that dart set up here, looking to get another pick on Kraken Mare, although has to back up because of the Splat Bomb. Meanwhile, Wings is on that zone, and B is helping Loon guard this upper left-hand corner from Neptune. A little bit of a splash ditto going on here as Wings going to bring out the Inkjet that they are so well known for that, and the bow, their gameplay is impeccable. Looking to displace and gets a pick on Nerdy Adam at the very tail end. Such good aim. Meanwhile, speaking of specials, we've got B here on this crab tank in the core area, strafing around the side and catching Neptune out. Loon here, getting both Kraken Mare and Nerdy Adam, and what's the point? Surging back to take the lead.
Yeah, very strong pushback by What's the Point, and we're gonna see Neptune with that crab tank, seeing what they can do against that Booyah Bomb. It's gonna get stopped by the wall right there, unfortunately. Hitting the map terrain, but Neptune's gonna get taken out immediately. What's the Point? It's going down to the last few points remaining. What's the Point? There is no point, and What's the Point is going to take game 1 of the set.
No points left for them because that is a knockout. Great pushes from both teams, but it seemed like What's the Point found their footing. They were really unshakable from that zone. The combination of the range from Wings and that Inkjet, and then also Loon B and Echo just kind of cycling around and providing all of the picks and the paint support. This is the tail end of the double that we saw Loon get, and this is really where you can see like how much blue is on that zone and how far Echo is up in that alleyway or not Echo, I think there was another person, but Echo popped the Booyah Bomb there. Neptune had to focus on that with the crab, and really from here on out, there was just no way that Caniac Central could get back in with both Nerdy Adam and not Nerdy Adam. I'm confusing players left and right. With Kraken Mare on the ink brush going down.
It gets confusing after a little while. We've seen so many players. We've seen, what is this? Say
enough matches.
Yeah, 8, 16. This is we've seen 24 different players so far already.
I feel bad because I know these people. Like, I should know their names, but
I mean, it happens. Sometimes
my brain
we talk
moves
so fast.
faster than my mouth, and
Yeah.
I go. My brain tries to focus on one player, my mouth talks about another, but we're moving right on into our second. Thank you to our streamer, by the way, for putting up the team rosters very helpfully so I can see who's who. And I, in fact, have them pulled up on my other monitor, and that doesn't help at all because I have the memory of a goldfish. Funnily enough, actually, goldfish have better memory than we think they do. Anyway, we're gonna get into our Scorch Clams match. Looks like we got a shot. We swapped to the V shot there from Neptune. And was that FroPro there before?
So.
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah. Well, it's there now.
Yeah, it's there now.
That's what matters as we head into, the neutral game that always befalls the first 20 or so seconds of any Clan Blitz match. The Cooler and the Zuka and the Whales all coming out. The Booyah coming out from on the side of What's the Point, and they lose 3 as you can see Neptune running forward, getting taken out by Wings, very self-sufficient anchor, getting the first clam in there, but doesn't look like we're going to have any backup as What's the Point is still very, very present around that basket, and B here also has the crab tank at the ready, likely going to try and get that set up on the top here once the missiles are all done.
Yeah, gonna have to wait for those missiles, very deadly, but they're gonna get picked off right there by Nerdy Adam on that Frozen Pro. Very great job getting a pick as well on, I believe, Wings right there.
Yes.
Very great job by him to be able to get 2 down right there. And we're gonna see some more scuffling in mid by both of these teams. We do see B with that Splashmatic, seeing if they can have an answer, but they're gonna get picked off with a whole barrage of bombs.
Yeah, we caught just a glimpse of Kraken Mare's gear there, which I think is hilarious. It's Ninja Squid and all swim speed. There's no utility subs on that kit whatsoever. That guy just wants to go fast, or at least as fast as the swim speed penalty on Ninja Squid will allow them. But while I'm talking about that, Caniac Central is trying to build up another push here, getting another power clam. They do lose a player, lose Kraken Mare there as well. Nerdy Adam trying to find a good place to pop the missiles here, but realizing that they've been called out, opting to jump out with the rest of their team. Meanwhile, What's the Point taking this opportunity to get Wings set up on that top mid area there. They have to back off onto the grates for just a quick second because of the missiles, but it is all right. And you can see Loon is also pushing back Kraken Mare with the range afforded to them by that gal. Halfway to Cooler, or not halfway, sorry, they did pop Cooler for their team. Now Kraken being censored is not going to be able to pull any sort of flanks. Wings with this Inkjet is looking for a pick or two on the now 2 power clams that Caniac Central is carrying.
Yeah, we see Riding going all the way in right there, able to get a pick right there. We see Nerdy Adam with another power slam. Are they going to be able to score? Yes, they will. See Neptune with a few more just to get some more points on. They do have that Zuko. Is going to get a great pick there. Not going to be able to pick the crab, but able to get some damage in.
Yeah, taking out all of the armor of the crab, not actually killing the player there, though. But it doesn't matter because somehow Caniac Central is continuing to keep this basket open, and Kraken is going to come in with 2 more clams to take that down to 26. The Cooler is popped underneath. Kraken getting the trade out on that jump in. Neptune looking for more clams. That is now down to 17, and Nerdy Adam is still maintaining positioning under their Neptune with 3 more clams, deciding that finally the push is over, but all the way down to 17 is a huge bar for what's the point to clear. They have both of their... They have 2 clams and Pity, actually, and Cooler is all up. So they have all the tools they need to make a counter push. They just need the space to do it, because right now they are just now fighting their way back into mid. Echo on this sticker stamper has the Booyah Bomb at the ready. Ready to clear out Kraken Mare from the right side there. Does succeed in displacing, but no picks yet.
Yeah, we do see B with that Slasher-matic. Does have that Crab Tank charge locked and loaded, ready to go. Only one with a special ready, except for Wings does have that Inkjet ready as well. See what's the point it's going to be able to do with all this momentum, but they're going to get a trade right there between Neptune and I believe Loon right there. Wings with that Inkjet, not looking like they're going to be able to get anyone either.
Yeah, Loon going down with the Cooler really hurts because that Inkjet and Crab Tank from B cannot be capitalized on nearly as much, especially with Echo just not going to be able to come in and pick. They're a little bit trapped on the side, does get the pick down there on Neptune, and Wings and B are starting to move forward with those power clams. 2 down now, pushing back the remaining members as Kraken goes down. Echo trying to push their way in, has the Booyah, goes down before they can pop it, though, and that is absolutely huge. The special denial here, B doing everything they can to go in, but being pincered on that Crab means that the armor just gets absolutely shredded, and though Wings has the Inkjet, they are forced to back out, and so what's the point is pretty much back to square one. They still have the power clams, can still proc overtime here as we head to the last 30 seconds. They just have to fend off Caniac Central first, as right now Riding has another power clam.
Yeah, so many power clams from either of these teams. We have Neptune having to jump out right there, Riding with that power clam completely marked by the entire enemy team. Are they going to be able to get a pick there? No, they're going to be able to get the jump out, but Wings does get the pick with the Inkjet right there.
Yeah, huge pick from Wings on that Inkjet. They lose 2 of their teammates, though, with B on the splash being the only one left. B has that Crab Tank. Echo is going to come back cooler with the... But it's not going to matter if Kraken is able to just come in with that Ink Brush when it matters most and toss in that last power clam to end overtime before What's the Point can even begin to build that counter push. And so we've tied up our set now 1-1.
Hey, Cater, guess what?
What?
We got a game 3.
Yeah! Very excited. I thought you were going to mention the head that Riding had on his side. I thought you were going to be like, there's a heavy edit Splat League, that's what you play. But yes, we are going to a game 3. Let's take a look at the replay of the end of our match here. There, Echo was able to jump out, Riding there with the power climb going down, like you said, 2 Wings on the Inkjet, and it looked like What's the Point was going to be able to formulate this, because even with 2 members going down, they were coolered and able to come back very quickly, or at least Echo was there. And I was going to say that Booyah Bomb and the Crab Tank combination could be really, really important here, but I mean, Kraken was just able to weasel their way in with that Ink Brush.
Definitely an Ink Brush moment right there.
Yeah, Ink Brush plus clams equals, well, that.
Game 3, though, we're going back to Hagglefish, but we're playing some zones now.
Oh, yes. Okay, so no more tower control. It is Hagglefish Zones, another classic mode for this map here, and nothing that I will complain about at all.
It's like the most common map mode, I feel like, in the game.
Yeah, I arguably even... I feel like it's either this or Mako Zones, but I think this might be even more common.
This might be even more.
Which is kind of crazy to think, because, like, Mako Zones was the map mode combination, even back in Splatoon 2. Like...
I feel like this is the map mode combo of Splatoon 3, honestly. I will
Honestly,
say
yeah,
that.
probably.
I think it
Mako's
is.
had its time. Step aside. There's a new stage in town, you know?
Well, Mako's still pretty popular now.
It is, but I like Halo
Yeah.
more.
Honestly, do I? I don't know. Because I used to say that Mako was my top 3 favorite maps, but I don't even know anymore. I will have to do another tier list or something. But that's for another time. We're going back into game 3. We're not really seeing any team switch ups on the side of what's the point. Neither on the side of Caniac Central, so we're going straight pretty much
Straight into it, yeah. If it
right
ain't broke,
into
don't
it.
fix it. Wings, again, running drop roller for that inkjet landing. One of the, honestly, maybe inkjet landing, that being the only time that you'll see drop roller ever run, but completely fair, especially when those landings tend to get camped so much, as recall specials often do. Nerdy Adam opting to take a flank route, or an off angle there as Neptune goes out with the Zuka and Echo going out with the Booyah Bomb, managing to catch members of Caniac Central in there, so what's the point fighting for that zone even though they didn't get the first pick there? Looking good. As you can see, Echo drawing more attention, opting to jump out, be there, being able to pop the crab tank without getting canceled, and forcing a jump out there as well. Looking very, very strong as we see the members begin to inch up in front of that zone. Oh, but Caniac Central has something to say about that. Krakenmare and Neptune leaping onto the zone, support from the missiles from Nerdy Adam, and we're trying to see a Zuka versus Inkjet. No dice for either of the specials.
Unfortunately, that would have been really cool. Neptune is going to get taken out on that left side. We do see Writing does have that cooler locked and loaded there, but there's only them and Kraken, and they're going to go down almost immediately. What's the point is getting their own momentum back. They're all the way in the 60s, mowing through their penalty points, seeing as far as they could possibly go before Caniac Central can mount a counter push.
Well, this is what you want to see as their penalty is gone, and only the one special ready, or two specials now on the side of Caniac Central. But what's the point? Also has that Booyah Crab combination again, but with that pick from Neptune, from the Zuka, and the whales coming out as well. Kind of Booyah Bomb and Crab Take coming out from Echo, and B there with the missiles. Special after special getting traded as Riding is coming up on the right side of this zone. Neptune getting a pick on Echo, 2 down on the side of what's the point as they finally lose control. 19 points from that knockout, but Wings and Loon saying not just yet, we are going to keep this, and it's going to copy that inkjet as well. We can be very well escaped to knock out if Phoenix isn't come back as this zone, and Wings pretty much single-handedly preventing the two of them coming in, and that is a very fast, dominant third game. What's the point getting their momentum back, finishing this set?
And what really strong pipelines right at the end of that set, just putting so much pressure on them at right side of the Teotl. Just say, no, you're not going over here, you're not going to pay into your fun. We're going to take game 3. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. They said, like, you know, we played, you're taking games, but that doesn't matter if we finish off this set right here, right now. We're looking at the replay of the last 20 or so seconds of our game as Caniac Central loses 2, and here is the inkjet from Wings, the remaining 2 members, Kraken, Riding, back here, and Riding, kind of trapped in that corner of the zone, trying to push back in, and Wings just almost completely preventing it, along with the supplementary paint from the rest of their team. And the fact that they fully had the zone in control means that Caniac Central just didn't have any inked space to come in and try and end the knockout.
Yeah, that was a very great showing by both of these teams. Really excited to see what we have next. I think that would be the end of our group stage.
Yes, indeed. So, after our 3 group rounds are done, Nessie's pool is done, and all of these teams, their placements are going to send them into our different shark-themed brackets, which make up our second part of the tournament. We are going to get said brackets set up right away now, and so we will be right back in just a couple of minutes with more action.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swim or Sink 210. I'm Drumar, joined here by my lovely co-commentator, Kater. We are back with the Great White Bracket segment of our tournament, and we will be here with two teams. One named Hog, two I know, I had to say it, it really sucks. And on the other side, we have Bucket of Axolotl.
A much more pleasant team name in Icon,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. Look at look at the Bucket of Axolotl. It's so cute.
I know, it's so cute.
He's just a little guy. Yeah. Oh no, we have to watch the name that is pronounced like a meme. There it is.
I know, there it is. I said it once, and I'll say Hog for the rest of the set.
The teams, when needing to make a pickup name, will come up with the darndest things.
Absolutely.
Alright, well, these are the teams that we will be watching. We are in our first round of Great White, which is our top bracket here for Swim or Sink. We've got these players, which actually I don't think I recognize any of them, but that's okay. Here's the rest of our Great White bracket. You can see a few of our teams waiting there. We do have Yaotl and What's the Point, which are both teams that we watched earlier in the stream, and then other than that, I'm sure you all recognize the name Duck Motif that are waiting there. As well as Iridescent, our top seed. But right now we are looking at our first round, and with the maps that we're looking at, I believe we're going to be starting out Splat Zones on Mahi Mahi Resort.
Really good Splat Zone map. Honestly, once that rework happened, it shot up from like one of the worst zones map to like one of the best, which a rework will do that to you, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you know, they were like, oh, we made a mistake, and they actually fixed the mistake, and now it's a pretty dang good map. I mean, you know, of course, I and everybody else like it when the water drops down. Before then, it is kind of just a one-line funnel to the zone, but I like it afterwards. I like the little islands that are on the right, the two sides of the maps, and the different ways that you have to get back into zone. I don't know. This one's definitely up there for me. This is not a map that I would hate to play in like a tournament or a rotation or anything.
Yeah, whenever I'm playing comp or whatever, and I have to call out when the water's dropping, I say, "All right, we got a map."
Guys, we have a map now. It's real now.
Water drop.
It wasn't there before, but now we have it.
Yeah, it opens up so much space. It's actually ridiculous because not only does it open up space for you to move, it opens up space for you to ping for specials, and just
exactly. It's like, wow, we actually have space to like play the game now and I feel like I'm not
being like choked into a corner like I am with a lot of maps.
Yeah, crammed like a tin of sardines. Wrong.
No kidding. Yeah.
I know, but like, is what it. They do can squid, so it is like tin squid when you get compressed in there.
They can octopus. I don't know.
Yeah, they can octopus.
I think they would.
I've had tin squid. I don't think I've had tinned octopus before, but I really like canned fish. But anyway, it's not a food stream. It is a competitive Splatoon stream, and we'll look at the comps that Hog and Bucket of Axolotl have decided to bring out here. Oh, okay. We got the ink brush. We got a Squiffer coming out here. Hey, Acid Glory.
Squiffer Gaming.
Squiffer Gaming, indeed. One of my favorite weapons to watch. That's the vanilla one, so we're going to see some big bubblers on the zone there. On the side of Hog, we do have the Ink Brush Nouveau coming out. Not a very common pick that you see out here. They do go down right, unfortunately, and no conventional backline on that side either, so we are running with the short range here.
A really short range comp right here. We do see Vizzy with that flash running, popping that crab tank, seeing what they can do in that zone area. Hog does have control of the zone at the start. Acid Glory trying to go for a pick right there. Is not going to be able to as they get picked off, I believe, by that dualies. But they're going to get traded out like almost immediately.
Yeah, there's a lot of scuffling going on in the zone, well, because there's not really anywhere else to go when you don't have a map. That is going to result in a full wipeout situation on the side of Bucket of Axolotl, meaning that Hog is going to be able to rush up onto this plat area here, with Para able to pop the crab very, very aggressively right by that zone. And now we finally have the water level dropping, and like you said, we actually have a real map now, the actual Mahi Mahi that we like to play on, with another crab coming out here. This is a double crab comp now that I realize it, from Ice Clear there, and one on the side of Vizzy as well. So, hey, do they can crab? Well, maybe they do. I suppose they do. They've got to can all sorts of seafood. There's lots of aquatic life alive here as Acid Glory on this Swiffer is going to push up with their teammates as Bucket of Axolotl finally has a little bit of control of this zone. Very quickly going to get taken out by Ice Clear though on those dualies, getting Vizzy as well, and with the help of Hera on this Crab, it is going to be Hog in control yet again.
Yeah, a whole bunch of scuffling by both sides. Bucket of Axolotl was able to take the zone for a bit, but Hog is right back to it. Burning through those penalty points as quick as they possibly can, just putting up a whole bunch of pressure on the side of Bucket of Axolotl. Just trying their best to just keep them in their zone and not be able to let them out. We do see Para right there. I believe with that splash, just not going to be able to get anyone, and we do see Vizzy going around the Shark, is going to get taken out by that Ink Brush. Very great job by them.
Odd looking really good here as their penalty is gone. Do lose 2 members, and Mirage on the S-Blast, putting in the work there, but Vizzy being the only one left, going for a pick. Fortunately, no one else is able to take the zone there. I think the combination of that Booyah and Vizzy going into the zone could have possibly neutralized it, but as it is, Hog was able to win their fights and take our first match.
Very strong showing by Hog right there. Just a very strong comp, even for not having a backline. Just a whole bunch of Slayer pressure with that splash, with the dually and the ink brush. Just a whole bunch of like forward pressure. And I don't think sometimes it looks like Bucket of Axolotl just wasn't prepared for it. But I mean, honestly, who would be prepared of it? We're so used to seeing edits and pencils and cooler backlines and everything. So you see a team comp running none of that and just 4 like very aggressive to supportive weapons, and it's like you kind of just have to adjust, and it might take a bit.
Yeah, I think also with the Squiffer and the S-Blast, they might have been a little bit lacking in that quick paint that things like the Zap and the Dualies and the Splash can kind of just mindlessly get out, whereas with those weapons they have to spend a little bit more time, a little more intentionality taking the area before they can actually get the paint down onto the area that they want to control, right? Because they have area denial, but it is not synonymous with their paint, whereas with those other higher fire rate shooter weapons, they take area by taking that paint. And so in a turf, in a mode where the objective is completely based off of the turf that you, or almost completely based off the turf that you can paint in the defined square anyway, that tends to favor those kinds of weapons. But we are heading into tower control Undertow Spillway. A little bit of deja vu, but it's not Rainmaker, it is tower. And so we'll see how this changes with, ooh, that is the new mini Splatling coming out, so we're gonna see a lot of Inkzookas.
Yeah, get some Rattler gaming from Vizzy right there. Again, it looks like the side of Bucket of Axolotl is a little bit lacking in that paint department. They have the S-Blast and the Squiffer back again, but let's see if they can actually like adjust a little bit better and prepare a bit more. We do see the brush going for a pick right there on the Squiffer. Is going to get taken out, and it's going to get traded out as well. We see Vizzy with that Zuka is going to be able to pick the Zap right there. Very strong pick, and is able to get a second one right there.
Oh yeah, but the Ink Brush coming in, Sergawi on this hammer, looking for a pick on Acid Glory, who is very wisely backing up. Gonna take that all the way up the uninkable. Gets 2 with the hammer snipe! A really nice read there, and Ice Clear going down to finish off the triple. So Muffin on that pen being the only one left for now as those members respawn. It is Hog that is very much in control with Ice Clear on the Crab, and all the way past that second checkpoint already down to 35 and just with the blink of an eye, I mean 1 minute basically. Para on the Crab with a lot of area denial, and even getting a pick on Mirage, going down before they can get the second. Draco coming back into the play here, trying to get something, some more presence around that tower as it slowly goes back to mid. That's 3 down again on the Bucket of Axolotl, so tower presence it is.
Yeah, we do see Draco taking position on that tower, just going to ride it as far as they possibly can. We do see Sergawi with that Ink Brush, seeing what they can do, is going to have to get picked off though, unfortunately, and it's just down to the Splash, who's immediately going to get picked out right when I talk about it. Commentators first, as always. There's got to be at least one in every set that I do.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, there's the players, it's like they can hear us, and sometimes they go along with exactly what we say, and sometimes they decide to immediately directly contradict it. We've got two specials coming out from Hog with the combination of the hammer and another special, and that leads directly to a wipeout. So Draco, that Zap support player, just gonna sit and chill on the zone, pop out a cooler for the rest of the team. Ice Clear finishing off this crab here, pushing back Muffin, Vizzy. Mirage going down again, unfortunately, as Para is just running forward, getting a pick at a very incredibly aggressive crab that is going to back up their teammates. Muffin just having to fall to the combination of that and the Ink Brush already at 30. Acid Glory able to get onto that tower for just a split second, popping the bubble as well, getting the pick on Ice Clear point blank. Really impressive aim there.
Yeah, is gonna try to get a pick on Draco. It's not gonna be able to. It's gonna get picked out by the brush right there and that hammer, as well as the bubble getting popped as well. It's not gonna be able to get a pick with the hammer throw though, as the brush is gonna go down right after.
A really strong presence from that brush. Finally, the tower is starting to reset to mid for Bucket of Axolotl, and they can start getting something going. Vizzy going down before they can get any presence on the tower, and Acid Glory is the one to take their place. Mirage trying to get some value out of here with the S-Blast, has the Booyah Bomb going to go down to Draco and Sergawe just jumping on them. Inkbrush goes down to Acid Glory, getting another great pick on that Squiffer, but time is running out as we head into the last 2 minutes of our match. Mirage nicely camping that jump, and again has this Booyah Bomb. So if they are able to make really good use of it and camp these ledges, I think we could see something really, really big from Bucket of Axolotl.
Yeah, we do see a skirmish right there. We see Ice Clear trying to pick off that bubble. Is going to get the Squiffer under as well, and there's only, I believe, Mirage on that S-Blast left alive. Hog is going to see what they can do. Is going to get a pick on Mirage, but it's going to get traded out almost immediately. And we just have the towers just sitting in mid.
Oh, I thought for sure that all of those slaps were enough to take out Vizzy, but perhaps healing or latency was not on Sergawe's side, and Vizzy lives to shoot another Zuka if they can find a good place to do it. Cooler is also out, and that is 2 down, 3 down with the Ink Brush, the only one remaining, and they are able to get the pick on the Zuka, though. Sorry, I said Zuka, that's basically what it is, but it's the mini Splatling. They are going to get chased off, though, by Mirage, as we finally see a push come out for Bucket of Axolotl, but just as it starts, it ends with all of that paint again being put down by those really fast shooter weapons, the Zap, the Dualies. Even the Brush is putting out a lot of paint for themselves.
Yeah, we do see Para with that splash, trying to paint for a crab right there, not having it quite yet. And we do see Hog going for another push, but 3 of them go down right when I say it. And Para is just in a desperate situation. It's gonna get the clean jump out there right after grabbing Cooler. Great job by them.
Yeah, that is, the Cooler jump outs are always clutch, and that's very, very important as they live and keep their special. Cooler out for Bucket of Axolotl, but they're getting pushed back off of that tower. The crab dropping here, that's 2 down though, with Para having to eat these Zuka shots and goes down to that. 6 seconds left. Muffin's gonna hop onto this tower and proc overtime. Do have to watch out as the members of Hog have respawned now. A lot of bombs. Mirage going down to the 2 suction bombs there. You can see Acid Glory trying to get something done, but the bubble not going out on the tower in the corner. Instead, Ice Clear does go down though, and we are seeing multiple members, a trade on the tower. Mirage ending up, and Muffin able to continue riding this tower past checkpoint 2, putting the Cooler out, having to dodge around, goes down with the suction bomb, but we still see members riding, and that is the lead swap. And we see, I think it was the lead swap. I saw that we lost. I believe that is the game to Bucket of Axolotl by the skin of their teeth. Multiple trades on the tower, but just meaning to keep their members on through that. Extremely close. We're taking it to another game 3.
That.
Whew. I mean, we're looking at the overtime replay, man, and I'm on the edge of my seat even just watching this. Like, you can see the crabs both going down. I thought for sure the bubbler going down, and then that was going to be the end, but Mirage is able to come and tap that on, and then Muffin just kind of rides the rest of the tower like it's completely fine, going down, and it's like Vizzy read their mind and just hopped on exactly as Muffin went down.
The only thing that's playing through my head right now is that one gif of RDJ as Tony Stark being like, how about that? That's all I can think of, because like, that was like, what, 50-point difference right when, like probably 50 points when overtime hit?
Yeah, that sort of point deficit in overtime is not something that is usually overcome. Usually maybe you get like half, 2/3 of the way there, and then, because it's overtime, one bomb goes off and boom, game over. But Bucket of Axolotl managed to hold on through that the whole way.
And we're going to a game 3 in this set. Winner is going to move on. Loser, unfortunately, it is the end of the road for you. We're gonna be going to zones on Hagglefish Market again.
Yeah, again, no surprises here, Classic. I feel like, we've said all that we can about Hagglefish Market that has come up, but, Bucket of Axolotl, though they seemed to, be on the back foot on the defensive side for a lot of those matches, they were able to pull through, and that momentum has got to feel great almost immediately going back into the last match here. These teams know what they want. They know the weapons that they're going to play, and I want to see more of that Squiffer S-Blast combo. I want to see them make it work here. I've got faith.
Yeah, we do see no changes from the side of Hog, and we are going to see the Squiffer S-Blast combo coming back, as well as Vizzy on the Splashmatic back again. So that's going to be the only change for either of these teams. We are going to see how this turns out.
Yeah, I presumed, I was gonna predict that the first Stone Cap was gonna go to Hog Tua, and they did it before I could say that because of all of the pain going out, but losing their Ink Brush relatively early, even with the crab coming out from parry here, makes it more difficult for them to keep up that pain. We do see the pen going down for Bucket of Axolotl, as well as Mirage there, and Acid Glory 3 down. Vivzy, that is a delayed wipe in favor of Hog Tua. You can see immediately Sirgawi on that Ink Brush is going to rush up into that core area with the crab from Ice Clear providing more coverage. This is a really, really good place for them to be as that cooler comes out.
Yeah, I haven't really given my props to Ice Clear. Has been a very strong player in this entire set. I'm seeing him get a lot of very strong picks throughout this entire set, not even this game. But we're gonna see how Hog decides to play out, and as I say that, Ice Clear unfortunately does go down, and Hog does still have control of the zone, going all the way through the 30s. Para does have their crab take out, is going to shred that bubble as much as they can as the Squiffer goes down. Ice going from the back side, trying to get a pick on Mirage, not going to be able, is going to finally able to get the pick. Hog only has 6 points left.
3, 2, 1. Even with 2 down, the remaining members of Bucket Axolotl not quite able to reach the zone in time. And so in a very quick fashion, this set is ended 2-1 in favor of Hog Tua. Oh, there I go. I said it.
You said it.
I said it. Well, yeah, like you said, Ice Clear was very strong and showed it, especially in that last match. And I just think that Hog really figured out how to isolate the members of Bucket of Axolotl. Like, even here you can see Mirage doing their best to go back into the zone, but they very quickly get caught out, get isolated from the members that they were with, and the paint just kind of dries up from underneath them as well. S-Blast, maybe not necessarily the strongest painter that we've got here, especially against that fast paint shooter comp, and then Mirage getting isolated again, and Vizzy trying to go up. Sirgawi also not able to get past that. It was just, they were able to pick off those numbers one by one. I think Bucket of Axolotl might have staggered a little bit trying to dive back into those engagements.
Yeah, definitely very strong showing by them. Hog is going to move on to the second round. Bucket of Axolotl, it is great to see you, but that unfortunately is the end of your run here at SOS tonight. But we are not done with SOS action tonight. We have a few more rounds to go.
Yes, well, it's the end of our block anyway, so it's the end of the run for us, but like you said, we've got plenty more action coming your way. We've got 2 other lovely commentators, Sasu and Topic, that we are going to hand the mic off to. Shout out to our Ellie, our streamer, for making this all happen. Drumar, before we go, where can the wonderful people in the audience find you on the internet?
You can find me on multiple different spots. You can find me, I'm not really active on Twitter anymore, but you can find me over there at Drumar_SPL. I'm way more active now on Blue Sky at drumar.bsky.social, and you can actually now find me over on Twitch as well, at twitch.tv/drumar_.
Well, that's awesome. You can find me in all of those places as well under the username Cater, displayed on the screen here. I do a lot of yapping, and I'm in the NA League VODs if you care to see me yap about some top-level NA play or get some trivia and win. So with that, we are going to take a short break, set up the rest of Breck, and come back right at you guys with more SOS action. So stay fresh and stay tuned.
Well, hello and welcome everyone to another week, another SOS, another top bracket. I am Topic, joined by the lovely Sasu, and for SOS 210 quarters, we have for you a very interesting matchup for you. We have Yuki Aim versus, I think, Yaotl Teotl. Don't know how to pronounce it. Sasu, you have any ideas? Because I'm going to mispronounce this multiple times today.
Honestly, I think that was a pretty good crack at it. Yaotl Teotl. I feel like I've heard this particular name pronounced a myriad of ways, and apparently, I don't think they know how to pronounce it either. So I'm just gonna assume that whatever is good. But we are here on this Wednesday. I just want to hear, how are you doing, first of all, Topic?
I'm surviving, so for those of you who are also in college, I did have finals this week. Today I finished a 15-page paper. Not fun, I will tell you that very, very much. But what will be fun is this matchup we have for you with a very, very common map mode, in my opinion. It's seen very often, Zones Umami. And Sasu, any thoughts on this one?
Zone's umami can just be so tough because everyone knows you've got those two zones. It's so difficult to cap both of them, especially because, like, taking a look at both of those teams, I know that Yuki Aim has Sunny, who I believe plays Pen. So because you see Pen so often, you're gonna have someone just sitting on that dome or that center mid, just chipping away at the zone, and making it super difficult for you to cap. So gonna be looking forward to seeing both of these teams keeping the zones in their own color.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to your point about that center midsection and the silo or dome or whatever, I've heard like 5 different ways. I think whenever I see this map, I think of a couple main specials. One, I think of tri-strikes because I believe they can help cover both zones. I think of Zuka to help clear top mid and on silo, and I think of Chumps. Chumps I see used a lot here because it is very, very useful. But we're gonna see what these teams bring out. Is that a junior? I believe yes, it is that junior for that double bomb, that bubble on zone. I understand it. And from the other side, from Yaotl Total, bringing out a 52 plus the Kraken leader. You know, I think those beacons are gonna do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really strong place to have the beacons because just being able to jump in and constantly contest that zone is going to be super useful. But already you have Yaotl having a bit of a dominance up until those picks go out. 2 members going down there. Yuki Aim, I think, losing 3 members of their own, but still at that bottom left, you do have, I think that might have been Sunny there, able to get the pick as well as Suicune. So it's a bit of a power struggle here, but we're gonna see who comes out on top here.
Yeah, and it looks like it will be, in fact, Yuki Aim coming out on top, getting a nice, I believe, double kill to kind of initiate this fight. You see, nice shot there by this Stamper. Now, you have to be really, really careful if you're Yaotl Total, because you see the Stamper, they're going to have to cast in a second. You see the Junior has Bubble, so that's be that defensive backbone that's going to allow them to stay in here. You see, not even that, Kikawa going in, able to get at least a bit of damage, popping both a Booyah and the Crab, so a lot of people are going to be used just to kind of get them out of base. It is going to work, but now look at the time you have now for Yuki Aim to spawn back in. They able to spawn back in and like nothing's happened. Like a bit of deja vu from earlier. They just get back into zone. They get back into the good spots. They get the leader as well. Setting up on dome, like you said earlier, just a very, very dominant performance here as Suicune getting another one with that bomb, and now it's looking very, very dangerous for Yaotl Total.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yuki Aim has done a great job of just getting so much value off of their picks, and you see they have essentially run it practically all the way from 100 down to 0 here in, like you said, Topic, a very dominant game. At a certain point, I thought, listen, we might be getting a closer game here. Yuki Aim, they went 2 down, but it was just a little scratch in their armor because they come out on top in this first game.
Yeah, and I think what really, really helped them there was the fact that the Pan Raiko, they were so far back. Oh no, scratch that. The frontliners were so far forward that we saw it. The Booyah Bomb was popped. The Kraken was popped so far in front of zone that the team, Yuki Aim, was able to just jump right back in and get right back to where they wanted to be. And that kind of allowed this to happen because since that pen did not move that far away from zone, since that pen had cooler, since that pen had the space with the junior as well, that gave him a lot to work with, and it gave him a lot of kind of safety to just jump back in. But we'll see if they're able to use that on this one, Clams Museum, because I think, honestly, the E-Leader can do a lot more damage. I think those beacons can be very, very basic, can be very, very helpful on such a big, wide open, wide map. I think the S-Blast can do a lot of damage. I think 52 can do a lot of damage on the ramp, just setting up there with wall, with the whale to just make sure you have space to push. Honestly, I think Yaotl, Teotl.
Sure.
I think, I don't know. I'm gonna mess it up so many times. I said this before, but yeah, you get the idea.
I'm inclined to think there is no correct pronunciation of Yaotl. You just kind of roll the dice and cross your fingers. But I think we're on the same wavelength here, Topic. Honestly, most people know Museum to be a leader map. You want that reach. You can practically, all you have to do is really point and aim to snipe someone on their own plat, essentially. However, I will bring attention to the fact that this is Clam Blitz. I think that despite the fact that this is a leader map, this is possibly the worst mode for leader to be playing here in particular. We do still see that leader here, not any changes on either side with the exception of a switch to sticker stamper. So we're gonna have that double booyah coming out of Yuki aim, but with everyone scrambling for clams, it might be a little bit difficult for that leader to figure out exactly what it should be focusing on.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a very, very big help for Yuki aim, trying to use that bit of distraction of that, everyone running around to try to get that leader off balance. You see Splatoon just taking a very strong spot, bubble on top mid. You have Kikawa there as well, but a bit of a flank from the Stamper. You see how quickly they're getting that paint on the enemy plat, I believe. Yeah, it is. And you see that double booyah is helpful. You get one booyah to cover plat, the other one to help a team fight, but unfortunately it looks like Yuki aim will be forced back at least for now. Leader goes down. That's huge. That's another going down. Weebomb coming out as well. Great start for Yuki aim, getting a very, very nice score here, but unfortunately, nice shot there, by the way. They will have a couple clams to follow up with Kikawa getting another 2 now, I believe, but unfortunately not able to get any further. And even though this was a really, really good opening, I think that'll be the end of the push. Now, that was a good opportunity there. Unfortunately, they did not get past that 60-point mark. That's the most crucial point of your first push, honestly.
I think Clam Economy, unfortunately, not on their side. Clearly, Yuki aim is a really strong team. Right now, they have 3 down. The Booyah Bomb is coming out. They choose to Booyah that top right to just put on that additional pressure. And the Kraken comes out to just try and clean up all of the people that are under the basket, trying to get those in. They have blazed right past the 60-point mark. They are down to 24 already. And you see Sweetcoon taking that top left in a trade. And that is going to be huge for them because that person goes down. Meanwhile, their team is still low-key under this basket. Now Raiko going to play it cool, back up Sunny. He's taking this ramp instead, but it seems like Yuki aim is just not taking their foot off of the gas. They are absolutely smothering Yaotl at this moment. So you have Ace popping these whales to try and just get some breathing room so that they can regroup themselves and possibly gather together to get a score on the basket.
What are you going to point out? One thing for Yuki aim, they did not allow Yaotl to get that other power clan, but it looks like it won't even matter as a triple kill coming out from the Stamper gets them in. Sweetkin with another ball and the bubble to keep the team in as well. Weebomb on the basket as well. You see so much of this plat is painted pink in favor of Yuki aim, and it looks like finally Yaotl will be able to escape their plat, but now you still have a lot of time to work with, by the way. 2 minutes is a lot of time, but with how dominant Yuki aim has been, I feel like it's very hard for them to get anything, for Yaotl to get anything going, because even if they try to get to mid, you see right here, you have that Stamper, you have that S-Blast being so aggressive, getting the good spots like that right there, getting even more points on the board, and now it's just Yuki aim, they're so close to ending this game. They are 7 mini clams away from ending this game. Look, unfortunately, they won't get any more here, but again, it's just that pressure that at any time, like you saw right there from Kikawa almost, anytime you can have someone go at that block, whether it be the Stamper, whether it be the Battle Junior being really aggressive, whether it be the S-Blast, just these 3 weapons are putting up so much pressure on Yaotl that it's impossible for them to be safe. Like here, another jump while I was talking.
Yeah, and I think that might be it if they're able to get in that last clam. It doesn't seem like it. That is going to be a wipeout. Yaotl saving themselves in this game by stopping them at a 1 and incurring a 14 clam penalty essentially to Yuki aim, and it's interesting because we've seen them be playing what looks to be a very dominant game. They're getting a lot of picks, but in the meantime, finally Yaotl for the first time has been able to break open that basket in the final minute. Here you have the leader going down, I think, on that center spinner, and it feels like Yuki aim, they have been able to get in, and you would think they would have gotten a knockout by now, but there's seemingly a sort of issue with clam economy that we're seeing, and despite the fact that there is a lot of points to go, I think Yaotl, even just being able to... Oh, they are going to get back.
Maybe, hold on.
It?
Oh, they did.
No.
That game. Suicune getting the Twitter.com pick right there will end the game off of a back flank from Kikawa. And honestly, throughout that entire game, it felt like Yuki aim was in full control. I felt like they didn't worry. I feel like that one push Yaotl did get was out of desperation. Wasn't really planned, wasn't really set up, wasn't really did anything. So even though they did get points on the board, that, in my opinion, was 100-0. Straight up.
I'm inclined to disagree. You know, I think that they were able to organize themselves to get that push because, quite frankly, I mean, you can see it here. Yuki aim has really strong players on it. They are not easy to get past, and I think the fact that you get to their basket at all, a weaker team wouldn't have been able to do so.
Yeah, but anyway, Yuki aim, like you said, very, very strong team. Very, very, very dominant too. Oh, I will say, in control the entire time, not letting anything up. And I believe, yeah, that will be it for our quarterfinals. But don't go anywhere because we have more Splatoon 3 as well as coming up to you in a couple of minutes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SOS 210. We are back for semi-finals, and we're going to be taking a look at Duck Motif versus Squad Wins 2, Return of the Crew. Now, Duck Motif, of course, I think is competing in the NA League, so certainly trying to get their reps in, I'd imagine, before they kind of go into the big leagues of all time. And I think Squad Wins 2, Return of the Crew. Just a lot of strong, higher level players. So this is surely going to be a very exciting semifinals topic.
I mean, yeah, both these teams are just ready and raring to go right away. Both sides, I believe, yeah, both sides have a charger, but interesting, going with the ZF charger, you know what? It makes sense. It's zones, you can clear, and it's ship shape, you can clear out zone, you can clear out the court. That makes sense. You also have on the other side the 96 Scout Deco for that Kraken. You just have that way to just kind of force enemies out and get a nice two-shot you see right there. And so far, it looks like Squad Wins 2 will get the first cap of the zone, but not a lot else. You see they're kind of held back here a little bit. You see that right now they have both bridges, but not able to get any more farther forward. They're trying their best to, but the strikes are going to come out along with that Zipcaster. Unfortunately, Zipcaster is going to go down, so Squad Wins, they're just holding on, smiling, or just dancing around, swimming around. They're able to not get a pick quite yet, but just stalling out time is all they need to do. As Duck Motif, now they're halfway, no, Squad Wins is now halfway through their penalty points, and Duck Motif will finally get their first cap of the game.
Yeah, and that is going to be huge because sometimes it can be so difficult to just stop that momentum. And you see right now you have the zone in neutral. Everyone, it seems like, is just in their own fights, just trying to figure things out. But you have Red Shell on this top right, using that brush to paint over the zone before getting picked off in that zip. Sky very diligently making sure that anyone who overextends does get punished for it. Hayden is going to get that pick as well, and very in this skirmishy fashion, just make sure to get out those bombs and gun everyone down. We see 2 members down on Duck Motif, so Squad Wins has done a fantastic job of getting themselves in this really advantageous position once more, while Red Shell, you see, just continues to run around and wreak havoc in this zip. We'll see if they get anything out of it, and that is not what you want to see when you pop a zip. A Kraken just waiting for you there.
Yeah, they're unfortunate. Also, nice hammer throw as well on the charger, getting rid of that backline here, allowing Squad Wins to just get a little bit further and get a little bit deeper into the court of Duck Motif, which is a real goal of this map here. Try to get as far as possible. You see them try and go through the midsection here, able to get through, but Vexen here just trying to hold this top side, doing a good job of that. Make sure this is not taking over, because once this bridge is taken over from both sides, that is basically like lockout central, and looks like Duck Motif will use that to their advantage fully and just force their way back in, able to use that Zipcaster along with Vixen just staying in, able to get the cap. But now what's really been, I feel like, hindering Duck Motif is just going down to either a random bomb or random pick here and there, and just Squad Wins just taking full advantage of that. So now if you're Duck Motif, your biggest goal is just staying alive as long as possible. So even if you lose zone, you can still fight for it, like you see right here.
Yeah, this is just pandemonium happening here. You see Kara does end up going down here. The whales are ready to go, but not before Vexen tries to get that pick. Not quite going to happen. We have a jump out there, but it feels as though Duck Motif, they have these strong holds, like you know, it just seems so difficult for both of these teams to just really cleanly push up and take the zone. You see, just then, 2 members are going down. Vexen just putting up that wall, trying to stay safe while warning off the rest of the players. And I think this is the first time it really feels as though one of the teams is just in their own spawn, having difficulty getting through that choke and dropping down into zone. Finally, Duck Motif makes their way through these penalty points, and I think we're going to be looking at a lead switch here shortly. It does happen. Duck Motif taking the lead just like that before a jump out happens, and with 3 members down, they must be going for the knockout here, Topic.
I mean, yeah, you saw Vexen in the mid there of the court getting, I believe, 2 members down. Baldy, though, able to get one, looking for just the zone. They are not quite going to get it. They're going to get neutralized, not quite able to get a whole lot. And Duck Motif, despite a little bit of adversity early on, able to fight back. And I think I want to credit, I believe, Bandit on the ZF Charger, just holding down the bridge. And I think that really, I don't want to say scared squad wins, but it kept them at bay. It kept Sky's attention on them basically the entire time. It made sure that the rest of Duck Motif was allowed to kind of move around freely without really having to worry about a whole lot, because you know, if that pen got one tap on you, does 68 damage, you're basically dead to anything. So I think shout out to Bandit for, even though I don't think they got a kill that last little fight there, just them having so much attention on them does so much in their favor. But that's enough of talking about the past. Let's talk about the present as we go to game number 2. It's not this on screen. It's actually going to be Tower Control Hagglefish.
Yes, of note, I think this being semis, we are now in a best of 5. We have a switch over. Now you can take a look that we will indeed be heading over to Hagglefish Tower. This can be quite a tough map mode to sort of make heads or tails of, because the momentum can just be extremely brutal here. Once that team hits that 3rd checkpoint, sometimes it just feels like you don't have the space, you don't have the wherewithal to really stop them. So I imagine that both of these teams are going to be making a bid to see who can get the farthest right off rip. And I'm going to be interested to see if we have a switch off of that backline. Bandit, of course, was on the ZF. ZF is a really strong weapon. Of course, they might keep them and get those GG strikes that people often want for tower, but I wouldn't be so surprised if we see a switch to a leader or a pen.
I mean, we're gonna see. We saw that Smile or Squad win, did bring a pen. Maybe see pen versus pen, but no, Bandit going to that leader, that longer range. That's gonna help. And also another switch, Baldy going over to the Luna Blaster for a Zipcaster on their own. And when looking at this matchup, I'm looking at both Zipcasters. They can both cause a lot of damage if either team pushes up. The Zipcasters are getting up to that top right side, causing a lot of damage and disruption to that backline. That's the main matchup I'm looking up towards right now. But as I say that, both of them are going to go down right away. It looks like Duck Motif will be the first ones to try to push up mid here. You see Kara on this right-hand side, just causing some attention, but not a whole lot. Red Shell, however, just looking on the flank. Hayden able to get them down. It looks like Squad Wins will be the first ones to touch tower, but not a whole lot else, because Duck Motif is going to be there. They're going to stop that momentum, and now it's back to neutral for the most part.
Hayden did some serious work there on that right side, because we obviously saw that flank and 2 go down. But I was wondering this whole time, well, why aren't they getting on tower? They have so many people down. And ultimately, you see, it's because Hayden was just harassing so many members to the point where their own members were able to take that tower. So once again, they are up there, they are pushing, but you see that Duck Motif has pulled out all the stops, popped literally all of their specials. I think you see those whales there, as well as those missiles. So Vexen just trying to get this pick, going to narrowly escape that bomb, and Smile just popping that Kraken to take the space and try and force people out of here. But 2 members of Squad Wins ultimately going to go down here, and it feels as though we're at a very rare stalemate as it pertains to the tower here topic.
I mean, yeah, both these teams are really skilled. They're really even, but it looks like finally Duck Motif will break that stalemate, able to get towards that first checkpoint, get another one down. Now you can see them try to execute on this momentum here, trying to multiply it. You see Vexen very far up, and you see just painting up the plat here as Red Shell going for that top right side. Very important if you can get past this first checkpoint, just staking out for a second, not quite able to get a whole lot, but again, just causing a lot of a lot of attention to be shift towards them is gonna work out. And Duck Motif, however, just getting past the first 2 checkpoints rather easily, I will say. And now, if you're squad wins, you have to respond really, really effectively here. You have 3 members down, you have to push up, you have Kraken, you're gonna have Zipcaster soon, you're gonna have Bubble soon. So this is an opportunity for you to do something, but Vex on the flank is something you have to be really, really worried for.
Listen, I said that this map mode is a game of momentum, and you see that Duck Motif did everything they could with the momentum that they got. I think they have just about, it was 3 people down, low-key. First squad wins 2 for a while, so that tower going to make its way back into mid, but meanwhile, one of the 2 pop zips is going to be popped. Baldy getting that pick before recalling back and effectively just sort of making Duck Motif move a little bit back, but Hayden safe until they're not, essentially. That bubble is going to burst, and the leader was right there waiting for them. It is just going to be the Kraken, who literally cannot die. Invulnerable special, of course, going to be the last person up. Smile takes 1 before getting out of there, and very wisely sets up that wall before heading back, but 2 go down in an absolutely huge explosion. This is just a bloodbath into a wipeout there from Duck Motif on squad wins 2. This is not looking good for them. They only have about 1:30 left.
I mean, yeah, those missiles from Kara caused a lot of damage. You saw just all of the missiles in one spot. Kara cleaned up the last survivor, and now Duck Motif looking to at least, if not score more, just get the tower on the enemy side. They do that. They just waste time, because now we're a minute left in this game. If your squad wins, you have to get through all 3 checkpoints still. Meanwhile, Duck Motif is still being as aggressive as they possibly can. Now they're forced back up just a little bit here. Not a whole lot. But now, if your squad wins, you get outranged by both the pro and the leader, other than the pencil. So you have to be very, really cautious of those 2. And you have not only that, you have to worry about the missiles on tower. You have to worry about the whale on tower. You have to worry about red shell on the Zipcaster on tower. So there's a lot that can go wrong that you cannot afford to, but looks like not even have a chance to, because again, Duck Motif just sitting on tower, just keeping this momentum and just keeping squad wins back and in their base this entire time.
Yes, you see that leader just kind of scooching back. They can afford to give up the range, seeing as though they have the most out of anybody who is in play here. But 2 members down, Red Shell trying to see if they can just clean up the rest. But they do get checked here by Baldy, who is still going after the picks into a trade. That is 3 members down for Duck Motif, but squad wins 2, not able to make it to the tower. So that is going to be another very unfortunate loss at the end. Especially seeing as though they got the picks. That puts Duck Motif at a 2-0.
I mean, yeah, if your squad wins, that wipe came a little bit too late, because it felt like through a majority of that game, Duck Motif just kept on the attack. They had Red Shell, they had Vexen on these flanks, up with these Zipcasters, going up to that top right side, going up to this left side, just making sure that their frontliners, mainly the 96 and the Luna, could not get anything going. They made sure that they were, at the very most, just spread apart so far away from each other that they couldn't turn a 1v1 to a 2v1. They made sure that when specials were used, they did whatever they could to minimize its effectiveness, whether it be spreading out, whether it be grouping together to kill the Luna Blaster in the Zipcaster. They just did the right things at the right time, and it worked out as they got the win. But now, as we go to game number 3, I expect at least maybe a change or 2. The only thing I can really see from these 2 teams is maybe Baldy going over to the Wiper, like so from game number 1. But other than that, I don't really see any changes from either side.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked to see that leader once again. I myself, I have a propensity to really like that CF here. I think that setting up walls can be super strong on Robo Ramen, denying someone space, making it difficult for them to get into your elbow, I think is just really great. But honestly, if you're a leader, you can just sit in your own elbow and just destroy the pen from across mid. So I'm inclined to agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of see a return of that. But, I guess not everyone has just kind of uniformly readied up. So I would think we do see that Wiper once again. And I'm wondering, what do you think Squad Wins 2 is going to have to do to take a game off Duck Motif here?
Dislodge Bandit. I mean, the best way I can describe it is Bandit has not honestly single-handedly, I credit to the entire team, but I'd say Bandit has really kept Squad Wins at bay, whether it be with the ZF, whether it be with the leader, making sure that they cannot move back to ZF Charger, making sure that they cannot move or feel comfortable moving is what their game plan was. So they have Vixen, they have Raicho just do and cause a lot of damage. So I think that's their biggest game plan. And honestly, Smile going over to the Luna Neo, and an interesting change here. Baldy going to the Zimmy Splatling with Bubble, not anymore, but going over to that to kind of set up on the enemy ramp to kind of give their team space could be very useful here.
Yeah, I'll give myself that pat on the back for the ZF call there. Bandit is going to send out those strikes from the safety of their snipe. Essentially, you have that 1v1 with Karen and Hayden. Eventually, both of them go down. However, it is Squad Wins 2 who currently has the zone. Bandit trying to see if they can do something about that. Obviously, don't want to set up necessarily on that snipe, especially with those whales just trying to come after them. And so far, it seems as though Squad Wins 2, quite frankly, is playing very careful, very methodically. You see that they're all sitting in this zone. Usually when you want to play an aggressive game, you move up to the elbow, see if you could just lock them out. But I think they're understanding that at this point in time, their backs are up against the wall. They can't afford to lose this game or else they lose the entire set. So perhaps they might be getting punished for that. Red Shell's trying to get the pick there, doesn't quite do it, but ultimately it seems as though their grasp on the zone is a little bit precarious. They do get it, but really strong showing so far off the top from Squad Wins 2.
I mean, yeah, you saw they kind of survived they survived the Zipcaster, they survived the whales, they survived the strikes, and they fought back. The bubble's gonna come out on the ramp as well. Missiles are gonna go into the bubble, into the zone, but it won't matter as Squad Wins 2. A very, very dominant performance. Yes, they did lose the first fight, and that gave Duck Motif, put Duck Motif on the board, but past that, they didn't control the zone. They pushed up, like you said, they played carefully. They didn't overextend too far away from their teammates, and that gave them the win. And honestly, I think low-key, the switch of the bubble kind of helped because it gave them like secured space up past the zone that they know they could that they knew they could go back to without being rushed down by Duck Motif, and I think that really helped. But we're gonna see what they can do to repeat that as now we're going to game 4, which is going to be Clam Blitz on Barnacle and Dime.
Ooh, Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime. Obviously, Barnacle and Dime is a very large space, and Clam Blitz honestly just sets up for these really good games because there's just so much space and so many fights that have to be taken in order to get into that basket, and it makes for some fantastic plays. But you see, I think just a tiny switch there from Squad Wins 2. They've switched onto that Luna Blaster. Instead, they have that hammer, and interestingly enough, I think that's an opening gambit as well. And we have yet another switch there from Bandit onto the Crab. Onto the Crab Charger, which, you think you'd be seeing more of, so I'm really happy to see it here. But Smile, right off the top, getting that pick, already just sort of overextending, trying to push that back line. Not gonna quite work out for them, but it does feel as though Duck Motif has conceded a lot of space. They don't have their plat. They're just trying to fight in, and meanwhile, Squad Wins 2 just putting on a lot of pressure. So a lot of excitement right off the top.
I mean, yeah, so far it looks like that early pressure will try to slow down a little bit. Hayden trying to go in once again. They're going to go down. You see another bubble very aggressively from Baldy, trying to keep their plat at least somewhat. Is going to actually shut down Red Shell on that Zipcaster very, very good there. And yeah, it looks like Duck Motif is still giving up a lot of space, still conceding mid, but this this crab is actually gonna get shut down by Smile. So it feels like Squad Wins 2 has a lot of wind in their sail. Delayed wipeout as well. Smile with the hammer, looking to throw it, is gonna get it, is gonna get banded as well. The double power clamp is gonna go in along with the bubble. So we see that Squad Wins 2 is very set up for success here. A couple more clamps in reserve. Smile looking for even more picks, making Bandit's life not that easy. The power going in once again. 31 points remaining. Smile just ledge sharking, able to get a couple more picks as well. Hayden going in as well with the whales, getting one, looking for another, getting two, not able to get a third, but a lot of damage has been done. And it feels like Squad Wins 2 has been in complete control, a complete 180 from the first two games where Duck Motif were kind of dominant. Now, Squad Wins 2 are looking really, really strong here.
Honestly, it looks like Squad Wins 2, like perhaps they were just gathering information in those first two games, and then they're like, okay, I've got the intel, we know exactly what we need to do to be a little bit more competitive in this set. You see that Zip being taken out right out the sky by Sky, who is on this pencil just trying to chip and take that space for their team. They have that bubble set up, so they have their plat back. The crab is going to come out. Smile just being smothered, gonna go down in a trade. Two members down on Squad Wins 2. So now is the time for someone like a Red Shell on this brush to see if they can just get this plat, get this space, and try and turn the tables on Squad Wins 2. The missiles come out here from Kara. That's going to be super difficult. It seems as though they've gotten all four, so everyone is trying to dodge those. All the while, Vexen is able to just absolutely mow down Hayden, get that double, and Red Shell just still going at it. So it feels as though we saw such a dominant game right off the top, but Duck Motif just kind of paying them back in spades with this level of aggression, and they're still going down. They still have a bit to go before they get to the 30, but if they play their cards right, they might be able to go straight past it.
I mean, yeah, they were able to keep it open for a little bit longer. Bandit deciding to pop that crab just to keep themselves and Kara alive a little bit longer, getting a jump in. One's going to go down to the wall. Very unfortunate there. Bandit still going 50 points remaining. No more clams at the righty. Kara is in spot, but Vexen, why is he deciding not to jump in just yet to at least save a power clam to live for another day? But now, if you're Duck Motif, you've done it once, you gotta do it again. But you know that Squad Wins 2 is gonna be there. They're not gonna give up that easy, because with a minute left to go in the game, you're still on your back, but you still have to score another 19 plus 25, so another 30, about another 44 points, I want to say. So you still have a long way to go, and looks like they're going to use that to advantage here instead. Just keep on going, keep this aggressive front they've been using for the last 2 minutes of the game. Hayden staying alive, able to get one in the trade, not quite able to get anything else though. But now you see Kara in a good spot. You see Bandit with the crab as well, just able to take a lot of space, which they've been doing really, really effectively here. And now you see the Zipcasters ready. Missiles are going to be up in a second for Duck Motif. This is very, very scary if your Squad Wins 2.
Yeah, absolutely, because not only are they in this really fantastic position, they've got two of your members down, essentially, but also this is Duck Motif. If you have been in the Splatoon scene for a while, you know that they are a strong team, but listen, Squad Wins 2 says we do not care. That double is going to happen. It is just the gal up there, the last person they throw that to make sure that they're not easy to locate there. Sky taking up that space. They have their own plat, putting down that paint. You see, this is a very purple mid we're looking at right now. Both of these teams have really strong clam economies. You see Vexen just trying to go in there. They go down to those whales, but that jump goes in, but it's just Bandit into a wipeout, and there is no time. We have that jump that will just be beamed down. So Squad Wins 2 kind of celebrating here, waiting for that barrier to go back up as they celebrate their journey to a potential reverse sweep onto a Game 5 there, Topic.
I mean, yeah, I think this story was just the tale of two halves. In the first half, you had Squad Wins 2 very dominant, very oppressive, very fast, very good gameplay from them. And then the second half being Duck Motif just being able to fight back, having that aggressive front, but it's not going to be enough as Squad Wins 2 able to stop that push early, able to stop this potential push from Duck Motif we see right here, just getting the crab, getting Kara down, no extra clams, and now maybe Squad Wins 2 celebrated a little bit too early. Who knows? Because we're in game 5. You can't celebrate till it's over. And I think this is going to be a very good map for Duck Motif because the missiles are going to go really good here because it's a small map in Mikomart. Because Red Shell doesn't have a lot of places to work with that Octobrush. But on the opposite side, I think Smile, I believe, is SZA going Luna is going to be very dangerous, especially under that ledge.
Yes, this is going to be super interesting to see sort of the battle of the AoE between Red Shell, who's going to be on that aforementioned Octobrush, and I think SZA Baby, who might be the one on that Luna Blaster. So as we know, Mako Mart really strong to have AoE there. I always say he who controls the stacks controls the game, and so both of these teams are going to be looking to grab those stacks, displace anyone who's standing on them. And I also gotta wonder what we're going to be seeing out of Bandit, because I can once again see a lot of choices here. The ZF really good because it's more difficult for people to just kind of camp under you and chip away at you. But of course, if you have that leader, anyone who stands on a stack may just go down. So we are going to be picking the leader. Just about everything else is going to stick, including the Zimmy. Really strong choice, especially as it has such a small charge time for a Splatling, and this is going to be the game 5 and decide who goes forward there, Topic.
I mean, yeah, but if you're both teams, you know your biggest job is to protect your stacks at all costs. You do that, you have a lot of control over zones. It looks like Squad Wins doesn't have the first control, but Duck Motif able to get back in the zone, get the lead, but not a whole lot else. Sky with the cooler, so you know with this cooler active, you're gonna see very aggressive plays from Squad Wins 2, which you are. Smile going in, not quite able to get Vex in there, but we see another very aggressive bubble from Baldy, just making it a little bit more challenging for Duck Motif to get in the zone. It is going to work out, as one's going to go down. Kara force it back out and pop the missiles as well, which is going to be very helpful for them. As for Red Shell, going into a fight versus a 2v1, Sharking staying alive, getting 2. The third one is going down as well, forcing the last one to back away. And now, if you are Duck Motif, you gotta hold both this right hand side we see Vixen doing, and you gotta hold that snipe, because you know if they drop snipe, they're gonna be in for a rough time at Red Shell there.
Honestly, they are already in for a rough time, because when you get wiped on Mako Mart, you know that people are just camping those drops. They're taking that right, like you see Vexen is doing right now, trying to put that pressure. Sky just trying to get control of their own snipe, putting out that paint, but being sure not to just get sniped out by the one person who has more range than them on the entire map. And Smile just gonna chuck that and get a really strong pick there on zone, which is going to help them to turn it back over. Duck Motif had a really strong hold. I think they did a good job of just making Squad Wins burn a lot of time figuring out how to get out of their own spawn, but that time is done. They currently have the zone. It's heading a little bit towards neutral, but I think with that one person down, with those 3 people down, their reign of terror is going to continue.
I mean, yeah, it's going to continue for as long as as Squad Wins would like to see. They're at their penalty points, trying to just milk it down as low as possible. But Red Shell does have Zipcaster. It's going to be popped 2 down with those whales as well. The zone is not going to quite flip control or flip the lead yet. 2v2, it's just 1 left, and that will be Duck Motif having the zone. And you see again how quickly they're pushing up. You see they have that underneath that plat area painted. You see that Vexen trying to contest this right-hand side as fast as possible, but Smile being there to contest them, not anymore. Nice snipe there from the E-leader. And now, as we enter the last 2 minutes of the game, it feels like one more wipeout will be the end of it, because both these teams, nice snipe there, are very evenly matched. And as you can see, we just have Bandit just doing whatever they can in order to make sure that their team can get it, make sure that their team is protected, and make sure that Squad Wins 2 is kept at bay for as long as possible.
Yes, but they are ticking down to the 10 mark. Vexen gonna let that go as that person jumps in, but there's just not enough time. Duck Motif with a strong hold at the end there is going to show their dominance and just barely eke out Squad Wins 2 in this 3-2 fifth game. Honestly, this was just so hype. Two strong teams. They almost got reverse swept, but at the last second, they put their foot down and said, absolutely not. We are a strong team, and we have been for a long time, and let's prove it to you here.
I mean, yeah, they held on. They saved off the reverse sweep, and they just really kept control of the map. Every time they got 2, 3, or heck, maybe even the wipeout, they pushed up. They had someone, mainly Vexen, on that right-hand side. They had Kara and Red Show watching snipe. They had Bandit, whether it being on the right stack watching or helping Vexen, whether it be on the left stack watching snipe as well for that overlook for Sky. They just had the coordination that it took to hold on. Even when they wiped out and they died and they almost lost lead, they kept calm, they kept cool, they kept collected, and they kept it going and able to punch their ticket into our finals this week.
Yeah, honestly, I think that shows their strength and their experience as a team. Just being able to keep cool under those circumstances, and perhaps, you know, that's why they've made it into the top 8 of the NA League, because they're just that good. But I think we are going to be heading to a bit of a short break before we go into finals, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with SOS 210.
Well, we told you we'd be back quick. Welcome to SOS number 210. I am Topic, joined once again by Sasu. And for your finals matchup tonight, two teams we have already seen. We have Duck Motif with a very, very strong comeback, staving off their opponents in semis to make it here. And Yuki Aim, a team we saw in quarterfinals, who, fun fact, upset the number 1 seed last round in a 3-1 upset. So, two very, very strong teams and 5 potentially very, very exciting games. So, Sasu, how you feeling about this?
I'm super excited to see how this goes. Seeing a major upset like that, it's one thing to see a 3-2, but like Duck Motif just, one could argue, barely escaped out of that last really close match that was just really fun to watch. And Yuki Aim with an absolute massive upset means that they are not here to play as well. So despite the fact that Duck Motif, of course, technically the higher seed favored to win, Yuki Aim definitely coming off of some strong momentum from that last set. So we will be, of course, starting off on Zone's Hagglefish, as you probably just saw. And I would say, like, kind of the great equalizer, a very standard map mode. There's kind of nowhere to hide in terms of knowing how to play there. I mean, there are lots of places to hide. There are flanks that you can utilize, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing Red Shell on that Octobrush utilizing them all the same. But both of these teams are going to be jockeying to get this first win so that it just have the momentum going into the rest of the set.
I mean, yeah, get that starting off that momentum, starting off on the right foot is what you want to see. And starting off with, in my opinion, okay, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Hagglefish Zones is like the vanilla ice cream of Splatoon 3 comp. Like, It's bland, it's salt and pepper, it's like unseasoned mashed potatoes. It's just Vanilla like, it's there.
Vanilla won the Splatfest.
It's not the best option, though.
Well, we're going to have to debate that later because we are getting into it. Let's see, looking at both sides, nothing too surprising from Duck Motif, just about the same. Cold this time around deciding to go onto that sticker stamper rather than the one on the zip. But right off the top, they are going to go down. Vexen just working overtime on that gal, making sure to check those flanks to see that nobody is trying to come for them. Cap just staying safe in that bubble before getting a double here, I think, from Red Shell, but they are going to be the only person out, so wipeout there on Duck Motif. Yuki Aim just taking him out and moving up accordingly.
Yeah, look how fast the Stamper and the S-Blast and honestly the Junior are pushing up, just sitting under these ledges. That's going to be one going down, no bubble. But you got to be worried of both these frontliners, both these AoE weapons just being there, being able to shut you down and see Rachel going down. Cold with the bleed bomb to try to clear out the tent here is going to work out. And so far, Yuki Aim are halfway to their penalty points right now. 2 members down, however, so Duck Motif has the opportunity here to get back into zone. You see Kara there on the right hand side, being able to just paint the zone, but no, Cap just popping that bubble and kind of invalidating all of that paint for as long as possible. And right now, Yuki Aim are just painting the zone and it's working out in their favor. Right shell on the flank, there's gonna go down. 2 are gonna go down for Duck Motif. There's the whales trying to get something going. It's not gonna work out. And despite a last-second attempt from Duck Motif to get back in the zone, Yuki Aim just says nuh-uh and takes game number 1.
Listen, we now see why Yuki Aim was able to get that upset in such a dominant fashion, because I really believe that something about their positioning. You see Sunny here, he is just making sure to be locked in, and I think eventually does get flanked. But at the end of the day, like you remember, they went 2 down, and despite that happening, they were able to hold on to the zone. You see Sunny there, that is going to be the flank, but you have Kiki on this left, just keeping everyone away from the zone long enough that I think it just barely goes into neutral at the end, but they keep it that whole time, Topic, and that's exactly what we saw from Yuki Aim when they were against Teotl. Despite the fact that half of them are down, they still keep their space. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, just really good of just not, even though they are technically members down, they are not giving up that much. They're not mainly getting up mid so the enemy team can't push up. They're giving up just enough to keep themselves safe, but not too much as to put the rest of their team in danger. But we're going to see if they can continue this as we go to game number 2, Inkblot Tower. And honestly, I think most of these weapons stay. The only thing I could see is Bandit going over to that E-leader. Actually, no, sticking to the ZF. The biggest change that I see is Kara going over to the vanilla bucket. So that means we have Hexa strikes on this side of Duck Motif.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is going to be a lot of strikes that they have to contend with, but I think I understand. Maybe it's kind of an answer to Yuki Aim having this double booyah that we see online and that they had last time around too, but of course this is Tower, so instead of just double booyah saying, hey, they're able to take all this space, it's instead going to be GG specials. So you take down one and you're gonna have to make sure you take down the other, but in the meantime, Yuki Aim has taken the tower, you see, and the lead seemingly, so they're still going. Cap getting this pick on Kara like nothing. Cold with the booyah, 2 booyahs about to come out. That is 3 people down, and Yuki Aim is just mowing through Duck Motif.
I mean, shout out to Cap, the Battle Junior putting in work, just getting 1 or 2 in mid, getting the tower, popping the bubble, and giving Yuki Aim a lot of space or a lot of time to work with us. Now we've seen this aggressive junior has been working out in their favor, because you see right now they're down to 35 points, broken through the biggest chokehold of this map, being the second checkpoint. Another booyah coming out, the wall just kind of sitting there, forcing a booyah to be thrown to the heavens, able to get it on the bats. Very, very big. They're keeping Cap, I believe, in the bats, forced out by Vexen here, not quite able to get the pick, and that will be the wipeout on the side of Yuki Aim. And now Duck Motif with 3 specials, strikes, zip, actually no, with double strikes, with everything at the ready. They had this opportunity here to get a lot of points on the board.
Yes, that is not what you want to see on your UI when you're playing the game, that the team that you're up against, especially when they have double, triple strikes, that they're all ready to go. Bandit is going to take someone out with 1 of those strikes before backing up, actually. Cap, I think, trying to see if they can just get that paint down, if they can keep this space, just really playing like a junior. Some rat behavior we're sort of seeing, but in the meantime, 2 of their members go down, including them. That is going to make 3 into what is a delayed wipe, essentially. So finally, Duck Motif is going to take that tower, move their way up. However, Yuki Aim seems to still have their bats and their wits about them. So firstly, more of those strikes gonna come out. It is just going to be a hail of strikes and specials as Red Shell tries to get yet another pick. And honestly, despite the fact that lots of the members of Yuki Aim are up, I was going to say that Duck Motif was making good headway, but it seems as though Yuki Aim said, all right, that's enough, our turn again, and has effectively chased them out and stopped their push.
I mean, yeah, they did a really good job of that, but it seems Duck Motif have kind of not learned Yuki Aim, but they've kind of managed to resist the advances from Yuki Aim really, really well here and being able to at least counteract them. But now, if you see, they're doing whatever they can to get their bats, and Yuki Aim knows this as well. So it's kind of a battle of, can Yuki Aim keep the bats and can Duck Motif get it? Rachel, another zip caster onto bats, unfortunately gets shut down almost immediately by Kiki. Yuki getting shut down in return by Bandit here, and now a 2v2 situation here. If you're Duck Motif, you gotta make sure that Sunny gets out of there, because Sunny being there with the cooler as well just gives their team that aggressive front that they really need to work with. And so far, they're doing a really good job of that, as they're able to get to the second checkpoint and score and possibly get through it. Not quite with one down. The bomb on the tower gonna do a whole lot. Cap saving the checkpoint by, I believe, 2 points. And Yuki Aim is gonna hold on with a minute to go left in the game, not only to the lead, but to that checkpoint, which is very, very big for them.
Listen, Topic, this is one of the times when you're in that VC and you just have to give a quick calm that you saved the game to the rest of your teammates, because wow, that could have been disastrous. Especially we are down to 30 seconds in this game, and once again, Duck Motif is on that tower trying to make that push. Once again, even more strikes coming out. 2 of their members are going down. They're heading towards that last checkpoint, but I think that Yuki Aim, just in this controlled sort of methodical way, is able to just get the picks that they need and effectively chase everyone down, but they haven't quit yet. Duck Motif is trying to get that AoE up there. That is going to be a pick, and now everyone is trying to dive that tower. Cold gets a absolute critical tower. Absolutely. GG booyah, and that is going to end the game. GG's indeed to a 2-0, putting Duck Motif on the back foot and looking down the barrel of a second place finish if they don't reverse sweep.
I mean, yeah, we saw at the very end there, all of the members of Yuki Aim. You see, this is a good start for them, getting a 3v3 situation here. You see them around the tower, just kind of affect it as best they can. And then once you hit that final, like 5 to 10 seconds, we see them all kind of rotate to bats. Well, Kiki dies here, that doesn't count. But we see them all rotate to bats to just kind of hold it here, because they know that one wants to go there. Vixen going down, 2 going down, 3 going down, just Red Shell, they go down. So good awareness from Yuki Aim to kind of rotate to bats, kind of keep it their color and make sure that Duck Motif cannot get there. But we go to game number 3, we go to Splat Zones, and honestly, I think I still stick with I believe that nothing really changes. The only thing I can really see is Kara for Duck Motif going back over to the Fro Pro. But other than that, I think both these teams, they like what they have. They like what they've been running. So I don't see a reason to change it, honestly. Even if your Duck Motif down 2-0, I think you stick with what you got.
Listen, I think that is very likely, but I had so much fun watching both of these teams with GG specials, just tossing them and farming them back and forth, seeing them just scrambling to get their 2 booyahs, both of them active at the same time, watching Bandit pop the trip ink strikes, and then seeing them come out again. I believe maybe that's from was it Hayden? I think I think it was Kara at the time. It was super fun. But looking at this, of course, we have a stick on that double booyah. And just as you foretold, we have a switch back to the Frozen Splatter Shot Pro. But we also have a DC. So we're going to be going back there to restart it, because, listen, Yuki Aim needs both of those booyahs online.
Yeah, both those booyahs. Yes, you can use one, but like I think the second one is used mainly for insurance or to be aggressive, because you know you can use one in zone, or on this map specifically, you can use a booyah to get to that top left side of the enemy spawn. Because I believe in zones, does this one have the block jump? I think it does, if I recall correctly.
You mean when you're trying to lock out, like in spawn?
Yeah, like that block jump in court. I believe it is on zones, if I recall correctly.
I'm a schmuck. I can't tell. That we are getting word that is correct.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, so you can use that to possibly get Cap in. This is a really aggressive junior player. You can use it to get Kiki in that S-Blast for a second booyah, or just booyah the zone. You can use it to get the Stamper in themselves. So there's a lot you can do with this double booyah that can be very, very effective here.
I mean, very true, but I would be kind of surprised if they're even necessarily in the position to do that. I think at that point, you're essentially at lockout. Now, Barnacle and Dime, I mean, I have long said, I guess, I don't know how hot that take is, but I don't even think that it should necessarily be legal because of just how
Really?
brutal it is. Oh, that is tough. You see here that Tickle's Switch died. Is Tickle a handheld player? Or did we have the most like unfortunate Switch just malfunction of all time? Because I will say, as a handheld player myself, you gotta play next to the plugin, just in case. You know, you can never be too sure. But I'm sure. What a thing to do when you're literally at
You're at turning
tournament
point.
porn. You're at tourney point and you allegedly have 5 people on your roster.
Allegedly.
and your Switch just dies and just denies you the win. So I guess we'll get that figured out. I know that if I'm not mistaken, Sendo has that new thing that tells you the timing for each game. So I'm sure it's going crazy and being like, that's weird. Why are you 10 minutes over? But let's take a look at the bracket here, Topic.
Yeah, we're looking at the bracket, and I believe, the number 1 seed Iridescent is currently up 1-0 on Squid Wins. On Squad Wins. Sorry, not Squid. It's not Squid Wins.
You made it a squid fish pun, and I didn't
That was not intentional. I did not mean to do that. But enough about the 3rd place match. We have our 1st place match back and ready to go. Both these teams, of course, sticking with what they had as per DC rules, and we are ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. We are back in it, Cold, or rather Tickle back in it as well. So right off the top, Duck Motif wasting absolutely no time to just squad up and get a lot of that yellow down. You see everybody is up and the watchful eye of that leader is looking to pick people off, and that is going to be 3 people down on Duck Motif already. So Sunny, you see he's moving up, getting that paint down as that pencil and their teammates are coolered up. So Kiki, I think, trying to take that plat, Cap doing just that, and I said I don't know if there's going to be like a really strong knockout position because Duck Motif is such a strong team, but Yuki Aim is certainly going for it.
I mean, yeah, 2v2, 3v2, or 3v1, or 1v3 now, as it's just the last member remaining. You see Abuya's at the ready, Pen gonna have Cool at the ready as well, so Yuki Aim can just keep this up for as long as they want. They have another Booyah also as well to keep up and keep Duck Motif back. 35 ticks remaining. There's a Booyah coming out. Both Booyahs coming out. Actually, they're both gonna hit the plat. One's gonna go down. 2 down on the side of Duck Motif. No 52. Nobody actually.
My
as
God.
the wipeout, I believe, will. The wipeout will end it, taking the drip pick while the game is going, by the way. You know what? If I was them, I'd do the same thing. But I am not, as of right now, Yuki Aim are your SOS 210 winners with a very, very dominant game number 3.
Listen, I'm going to allow you a little peek behind the curtain and let you know that we were given the choice today to possibly have cams on. And I said, listen, I came after work. I don't want to have cams. And I'm glad there are not cams on because my face right now, my jaw is on the floor. What a crazy game. You see a wipeout at the end there on Duck Motif. A well-known strong team, and Yuki Aim not just upsetting the 1st seed, but I would say a mainstay strong team in the NA League playoffs in a 3-0 in finals. Extremely strong showing from Yuki AIM, and a congratulations to them, especially after a DC.
I mean, yeah, the DC. I would have thought, put a little bit of a wind in their sail, just kind of slow it down a little bit. But no, they did not skip a beat. They looked locked in, as the song says right there. They didn't lock. They weren't locking in. They just locked in, and they won the game very convincingly. They used those booyahs to keep Duck Motif back. They used their AoEs to keep Duck Motif back. They had Cap, that very aggressive junior, keep Duck Motif back. They just did everything that they needed to do, and that ended up with a very, very clean victory.
Yeah, I think that was just a really amazing game. I know that Yuki AIM honestly has some really strong players. You've got my guy Sunny, especially there, Tickle, Cap, Kiki. A lot of these are really strong, well-known players, so it's not even as though this is like a squad of unknown people who necessarily did that. And also, I gotta say, sometimes a DC throws off your team, but sometimes it throws off the opponent's team too. There are times where I've been doing a strong job, the other team DCs, and then I just don't do super well going back into the game. So an unfortunate stop there, but we all know Duck Motif, an extremely strong team, not to be trifled with, and I'm sure we'll all have their eyes on them this Saturday at the NA League. But that is going to be it for SOS 210. Before we say goodbye here, Topic, make sure to give your plugs. If people want to keep up with you, where should they go?
Yeah, you can find me over at Topical2 on both Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm more active on Blue Sky. Find me over on Discord at Topic2. And I want to shout outs. Don't flounder at the function happening on January 17th in Cary, North Carolina. I will be at said land. I think it'll be fun. If you're going to be there, please stop by and say hello. I also want to say there will be a charity tournament for all, staff of any Splatoon org, raised for races. It's going to be really fun, really, really cool, and really fantastic. But that's enough plugging for me. Sasu, what about you?
Well, you can find me in a lot of the same places you can find Topic. I will also be at that LAN, so feel free to come say hello if you're going. And I'll also be hosting for Raises for Rices. So be sure to check that out before you get going to watch the NA League on Saturday. And you can also find me at Sasu in your pants. That's SASUIN, the letters UR, pants, just about anywhere on social media. But that is going to be it from me. A shout out to our lovely Ellie Mental, who is streaming for us, and a congratulations to Yuki AIM on the win. Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, have a good night. We'll see y'all next week.